Chapter 12:16. The Black Tortoise Doppelganger was a bloodline secret skill that could only be used by Yang family disciples whose bloodline concentration was above 80%. In the current Yang family, only Yang Wu could use such an ability. Perhaps Yang Taihe could too. Others might not have such an ability. In addition to the bloodline requirement, there was also a requirement for the soul. If Yang Wu's soul had not reached the War Soul realm, he would not be able to use the Black Tortoise Doppelganger. The Black Tortoise Doppelganger was formed by the will of the soul and fused with the war blood. It could unleash 80% of the combat power of the real body. Yang Wu split into 4. Including the real body, a total of 5 clones faced the demonic saints at the same time. Yang Wu's real body faced the most powerful blood Shura. He wielded the double-edged triple dragon spear and used the reverse dragon spear technique. A black tortoise broke out of the water and soared into the sky with a huge river. This was the power of the black tortoise spear way. It rapidly increased the power of Yang Wu's spear technique. A doppelganger used the overbearing divine palm and blasted towards the claw realm of the dark demon evil priestess. The endless firepower condensed into a palm print that carried an extremely overbearing momentum to destroy everything. A doppelganger used the martial god's fist, which contained the Zhenwu boxing way. It was as if the sun and moon were rotating, and also as if the black tortoise was breathing in and out. A doppelganger rushed towards the other saints and continued to kill them. Bang! 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 A series of shocking explosions rang out. The space was constantly shaking, and the destructive power was too great. Yang Wu's double-edged triple dragon spear collided with the Azura saber of the Blood Shura, creating a large number of sparks. The Blood Shura was indeed a top demonic saint. The combat power of the Azura saber way was comparable to that of a saint at the peak. He was very strong, and it was difficult for Yang Wu to suppress him. His opponent was not an ordinary saint. If he was not careful, he could cause harm to him. The combined combat power of the dark demon evil priestess was not inferior to the Blood Shura. Yang Wu's doppelganger used the overbearing divine palm and only tied with them. Gao Shanyan was extremely strong. He was fiercely colliding with one of Yang Wu's doppelgangers. The wolf-tooth mace turned into a giant wolf demon was attacking Yang Wu. After Yang Wu fought with these top-notch saints, he realized that none of them were weak. They all had their own fighting styles and were not easy to kill. Yang Wu thought that he could take them down head-on by relying on the doppelganger technique, but he was still somewhat powerless. Yang Wu gave up on the doppelganger technique and merged into one again. He fixed his eyes on Blood Shura, determined to kill him first. Sensing Yang Wu's murderous intent, the Blood Shura was not afraid. He laughed and said, "You are strong, but you are not strong enough to kill me. Have a taste of my blood evil 18 slashes." The Blood Shura was a man who grew up in killing. His murderous aura turned into the body of Azura. He slashed out again and again. The boundless Azura evil chi filled the sky as if it was going to break the world. The Azura saber way was evil and overbearing. People with weak willpower would be scared out of their wit. Yang Wu's willpower was like the sea. His fighting soul was extremely strong. He was unmoved. The double blade and triple dragon spear, which contained the power of his martial arts, stabbed out again. The black tortoise and the great river appeared again. Their power continued to rise as they tried to suppress the Blood Shura. Wherever the spear radiance went, the saber radiance was shattered. Many spear radiances were also cut off. The battle was extremely fierce. The dark demon evil priestess and Gao Shanyan also took the opportunity to attack. They were determined to kill Yang Wu together. These demonic path saints could withstand at least 40% of the star force. They could explode with power comparable to a saint at the peak. After Yang Wu felt the pressure coming from his left and right, the phoenix sword appeared in his other hand. He laughed and said, "I will use you guys to test my 1 month of hard work." Suddenly, Yang Wu's 5-star tattoos shone brightly. They turned into a rainbow bridge that absorbed the star force from the 9 heavens and descended. The star force was everywhere. It depended on how much of it he could absorb for his own use. Yang Wu was at the 5th star tattoo realm. His combat power was not inferior to any top-notch saint. When he absorbed the star force, his combat power became even more terrifying. He did not absorb the star force just now. Instead, he used the power of his dantian and body. 80% of the star force broke through the air. A spear and a sword with infinite power attacked from left and right. The white snake vomited blood. The flood dragon came out of the water. Star sword art. Yang Wu's 2 weapons attacked at the same time. The spear shadow sometimes turned into a white snake and sometimes into a dragon. The tens of thousands of feet long figure wreaked havoc in all directions. The blood Shura vomited blood and rolled away. There were even several bloody holes on his body. The phoenix profound sword slashed out a starlight. It was as if countless starlights had exploded. The sword chi was tens of thousands of feet long. It continuously slashed Dark Demon, Evil Lady and Gao Shan back, leaving deep wounds on their bodies. Why did his combat power explode so much? Blood Shura exclaimed. Is this the power of the battle blood of the battle tribe? He is clearly only at the 5th star tattoo realm, Dark Demon exclaimed. Feel it. The star force he is absorbing is very powerful, Evil Lady exclaimed. Don't just stand there. Take out all your trump cards. Otherwise we will be the ones to die, Gao Shan Yen said faintly. He was the first to explode. Giant wolf body. Gao Shan Yan's demonic aura exploded. His body grew taller as if he had turned into a giant wolf. His blood chi was even more powerful and his combat power was even more frightening. Kill! After Gao Shan Yen transformed into a giant wolf, he raised his mace and attacked again. This time, he had the combat power of a half-step into the heavenly ascension realm. He could only maintain this battle form for 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, his realm power would drop and it would be difficult to recover. There would be very obvious repercussions. Let's fight. Dark Demon and Evil Lady looked at each other. They each took out an elixir and swallowed it. This was the evil spirit elixir. The husband and wife were of the same mind. After taking the evil spirit elixir at the same time, not only were their minds connected, but they could also use soul attacks. The phantoms of skeletons appeared and tried to devour Yang Wu's soul. In addition, they worked together to create the Fierce Claw Field. Their attacks were extremely fierce. Blood Shura also exploded the path of Azura to the peak. His blood chi was extremely vigorous, and his path of slaughter was even more shocking. Yang Wu was extremely excited. He held the spear in one hand and the sword in the other and charged forward. After his physical body reached the peak of the saint physique and was tempered by the power of the stars, his 5 senses were not inferior to the 4 in front of him. His senses were even stronger than theirs. He could see their attacks clearly. He clashed with them head-on. He was not afraid of their joint attack at all. Clang, 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 clang. The sound of weapons clashing could not stop. Many sparks kept spreading out. The battle was incomparably fierce. The demonic saints who had not been killed could not help but exclaim when they saw this scene. Even if this Yang Wu is an invincible emperor, he should still be in the dragon transformation realm a year ago. Only a year has passed, and he should not have such powerful combat power. It's the saint transformation pool. He must have reached the celestial rune realm there. How did he reach the 5th level of the celestial rune realm? If he was given another 10 years to grow, wouldn't he be invincible under the saint realm? No wonder the king of Hell's palace gave out the king of Hell's decree. This boy must die. The more Yang Wu fought, the braver he became. He displayed the black tortoise's spear Dao and sword Dao to the fullest. He mobilized the power of the stars and attacked left and right. Not only did he block the attacks of the Four Peak Saints, but he also forced them to retreat. The Four Peak Saints also attacked without holding back. They condensed the power of a small star, and the area within 100 miles was turned upside down by their attacks. It was not a joke that a Peak Saint could condense the power of a star. Their saint physique had been tempered by the power of the stars again and again, and they were incomparably compatible with the power of the stars. Even if they only borrowed 30 to 40% of the power of the stars, they could condense their own small star. Yang Wu's fighting spirit was unparalleled, and his body was amazing. He still crushed the Four Peak Saints, and they could not get close to him. Kill! With such a crazy battle, the Supreme Nine Mysteries formula circulated to the limit and absorbed more power of the sky and earth. The power of the stars in the sky fell more and more. It had already exceeded 80% of the power he could withstand, and it was moving toward 90%. Blood Shura, Dark Demon Evil Lady, and Gao Shanyan were more and more shocked as they fought. Yang Wu was like a bottomless pit. He had endless power, and his fighting power was still rising. Even if they were lucky enough to hit Yang Wu, it did not seem to cause him too much damage. Dark Demon Evil Lady and her husband's soul attacks had always been successful, but in front of Yang Wu, they were useless. They could not hurt Yang Wu at all. I will hold him off from the front. You guys work together to kill him from the side, Gao Shanyan shouted decisively. The next moment, he held the Wolf Tooth Club and swung the Sky God's skill. Wolf Tooth Cauldron. As the club fell, the power of a small star condensed, and a large amount of Earth Xian Qi rolled in from all directions, forming a giant cauldron that suppressed Yang Wu. The power of this club was comparable to the power of a half-step sky god. Yang Wu captured the trajectory of the club, and the double-edged three-dragon spear met the attack like a dragon emerging from the sea. Bang! Gao Shanyan's all-out attack finally pushed Yang Wu back dozens of feet. Blood Shura and Dark Demon Evil Demon took the opportunity to attack Yang Wu from both sides. Shura Destruction. Blood Shura and the saber became one, and the Shura Saber Way was at its peak power. With a slash of the saber, tens of thousands of people fell, forming a horrifying river of blood. Dark Demon and Evil Lady worked together to create countless shadows of evil demons, forming a horrifying devil world. Evil demons devour the sky. The chaotic evil demons rushed toward Yang Wu's god's court, and countless claw shadows tore at Yang Wu. These ferocious attacks and killing skills were not something even a half-step sky god could block. No matter how fast Yang Wu's reaction was, he could not completely dodge. Black Tortoise Armor, take it off! Yang Wu forced out his strongest defense, and the power of his blood boiled to the extreme. The 8 trigrams armor reversed, producing a horrifying power. He waved his 2 weapons, and as if they had turned into the Tai Chi Dao, he entered a strange defensive Dao. Black Tortoise Armor. Chapter 12:17. The Black Tortoise Armor was a tortoiseshell type of defense. It was known as the strongest defensive power within the same level. Yang Wu had comprehended the Dao of deflection from it, reversing the 8 trigrams pattern on the armor. Not only could it defend against powerful attacks, but it could also deflect more of the power of the attacks, achieving a stronger defensive effect. As Yang Wu's cultivation level increased, he became more and more proficient in the way of deflection. However, he still couldn't achieve the 100% effect he wanted. Fortunately, after the trip to Wudong Mountain, he'd comprehended a little bit of the way of Tai Chi. He understood how to combine hardness and softness, how yin and yang interacted, and how to use 4 tails to pull 1,000 pounds. In the month of training, he understood that the way of deflection was similar to the way of Tai Chi. He'd always wanted to combine the 2 powers to make the way of deflection more perfect. At this moment, in this extreme battle, he'd forced out his strongest power, attracting more astral power. The Black Tortoise Armor became extremely thick, and the way of deflection was even more terrifying. Even the attacks of top-tier saints couldn't break it. He still wasn't satisfied. The attacks of top-tier saints couldn't break it, but the power of half-step heaven ascension could still penetrate and hurt him. If it weren't for his strong physical body, he would have been injured by the combined attacks of the four. In this state, his soul in the divine court Tao flower kept comprehending the way of Tai Chi and the way of Tai Chi. Finally, they merged together, forming the black tortoise way of deflection. There were 3,000 major paths and thousands of minor paths. Whether it was the black tortoise spear way, the black tortoise sword way, or the black tortoise way of deflection, they all belonged to the black tortoise way of deflection. Deflecting force is very similar to the soft force of Taiji. Not only can my black tortoise armor reverse the flow of force, it can also go with the flow. Every defensive force is different. I will use the Tao of Taiji to circulate it, eventually forming my unique defensive Tao. Yang Wu had an epiphany during the battle. The chi flowing in his black tortoise armor was completely different now. In the past, it was simply reversing to generate way of deflection. Now, it was flowing with way of deflection, forming the way of Tai Chi. This was the ultimate secret of the black tortoise way of defense. Bang! Bang bang! The saber light slashed Yang Wu, the wolf-tooth club slammed into Yang Wu, and the claws slashed into Yang Wu. They were all half-step into heavenspan, and even peak sages would be slaughtered. Yang Wu did not face the attacks head-on. Instead, he focused on guiding the power of the stars and rotating the black tortoise armor. Layers upon layers of saint energy supported the armor, and the 8 trigrams reversed into a Tai Chi diagram, repelling all of the attacks. At this moment, Yang Wu was like a real black tortoise. Even if he sat there cross-legged, no storm, thunder, or lightning could hurt him. What's going on? Gao Shanyan cried out. This guy is comprehending the Tao. Hurry up and interrupt him. This is the best time to kill him. Blood Shura shouted. Comprehending the Tao in battle, as expected of a heavens chosen. What a pity that he's going to fall here today. You guys spread out, I'll kill him. The dark demon shouted out as he took out a black bead and hurled it towards Yang Wu. The dark bead of destruction. This was an explosion-type bead that had been refined with the power of a top-level demon saint core. It was also infused with a large amount of explosive stones. It was a one-time use half-step ascension item. Once hit, even a half-step ascension expert would be killed. Gao Shanyan, Blood Shura, and the dark demon evil lady quickly retreated, not wanting to be caught in the crossfire. Boom! An earth-shattering explosion rang out as a wave of dark demon chi soared into the sky. It condensed into a large mushroom shape and did not dissipate for a long time. Haha, no matter how strong he is, he will still die at the hands of me, the dark demon. The dark demon laughed wildly. Kill those who give the Yama token. Looks like we can join the Yama palace now. The evil lady also revealed a smile that was uglier than crying. You guys sure are dreaming. A figure slowly walked out and said. Surprisingly, it was Yang Wu. He was actually fine. 4 out of the 5 layers of armor were broken, and the last layer protected him tightly. Moreover, it had once again condensed into 5 layers of armor. Black Tortoise had finally comprehended the unloading Tao. Even the dark pearl of destruction could not hurt him. How is this possible? The few top-tier saints cried out. If it were any of them, even if they were wearing top-tier saint armors, they would not be able to withstand the explosive power of the dark pearl of destruction. Nothing is impossible. Just now, you guys kept on using soul attacks to disturb me. I will kill you first. Yang Wu shouted. 108 demonic needles flew out from the divine court. Swoosh! The demonic needles were wrapped in souls, and were almost invisible. They split into 2 and stabbed out. It was impossible to guard against. The dark demon and the evil lady were proficient in soul power. When the demonic needles stabbed in front of them, they reacted. They did not believe that Yang Wu's soul power could hurt them. Break for me. The dark demon's soul power rippled as he threw out a soul punch. The evil lady also waved her soul claw, trying to catch the demonic needles. Unfortunately, they had underestimated Yang Wu's soul power and overestimated their own. The demonic needles mercilessly pierced through their defense and stabbed into their divine court, severely injuring their souls. Ah! The two of them clutched their heads and screamed as they fell from the sky. The power of the demonic needles was shocking. They had to endure dozens of stabs. Even if their souls were not destroyed, their minds would be in a mess. Oh no! Blood Shura saw that the situation was not good. He shouted and frantically retreated. He had already used his Shura Saber Dao but could not do anything to Yang Wu. If he did not leave now, he would be left behind. Do you think you can leave? Yang Wu shouted coldly. He controlled the demonic needles to stab at Blood Shura, while the nether ice-winged blades slashed at Gao Shanyan. Layers of blood armor appeared on Blood Shura. A small star power covered his body to prevent Yang Wu's sneak attack. However, the demonic needles could pass through this power and enter his divine court. Ah! Blood Shura followed in the footsteps of the dark demon evil lady. His soul was severely injured. Gao Shanyan, on the other hand, had more means than them. A broken demon armor appeared on his body, blocking the attack of the nether ice-winged blade. It's not that easy to kill me. I'm leaving. Gao Shanyan shouted proudly as he sped up to escape. You think you can come and go as you please? It's not that easy. Yang Wu chased after him. He merged with the double-blade triple dragon spear and turned into the black tortoise. The overwhelming spear shadows stabbed at Gao Shanyan. You can't do anything to me. Gao Shanyan was still very confident. He escaped as fast as he could. At the same time, he activated the power of the broken armor on his body. It was as if he was possessed by a peerless wolf demon. He took him away quickly. At the same time, he shouted, "Evil child, what are you waiting for?" Evil child stood on the mountain peak and looked at everything that was happening on the battlefield. His baby face curled into a cold smile. Hee, Yang Wu's combat power is completely unleashed in front of me. He is indeed powerful. If I want to kill him, I have to kill him in one blow. I can't let his invisibility and soul power attack get the upper hand. Evil child didn't make a move. He had been calculating Yang Wu's combat power and thinking of a way to deal with Yang Wu. Yang Wu's nether ice-winged blades returned to his body. His speed reached its limit like a shooting star. It was astonishingly fast. The double-blade triple dragon spear in his hand stabbed out again. Roar! Black Tortoise roared, his killing intent thick. He broke through layers of space and landed at the back of Gao Shanyan's head. He broke through his opponent's defensive power, and the spear head pierced through his head, killing him in one blow. Gao Shanyan couldn't accept this fact until he died. His speed was already very fast, and he had a defense comparable to the half-step Tongtian godly armor. Yet, he was still caught up by Yang Wu and killed. He died with his eyes wide open. He didn't see that when Yang Wu killed him, the power gathered on his body had condensed into a small star. This was an ability that only a top-notch saint could achieve. Had Yang Wu broken through to become a top-notch saint? Of course not. He had only attracted 100% of the star energy with the strength of a level 5 celestial rune realm cultivator. He had withstood a large amount of star energy and condensed it into a small star energy. The explosive power had reached a new level. It turns out that by absorbing the complete star power, one can condense the power of a star. However, with my current ability, it's still not enough to withstand the power of a star. I have to cultivate diligently to be able to withstand the power of a star for a long time. After Yang Wu killed Gao Shanyan, his face revealed a look of joy as he muttered to himself. He had a better understanding of the use of the star power. The more star power he attracted, the greater his combat power would be. It would be easy for him to fight across realms. He paused for a moment and said, "If my star power continues to grow, will I be able to display the true power of the star and kill all opponents of the same level?" After having this thought, Yang Wu was even more certain that he was right. However, from ancient times until now, it seemed that no one in the Saint realm could withstand the true power of a star, right? How strong must one's will and physical strength be able to withstand it? At the moment when Yang Wu was absent-minded, the evil child finally made his move. Evil God Bell, suppress. The evil child struck out a small bell. The evil chi of the bell was astonishing. Countless babies were crying. They had just been born and did not know good or evil. They did not understand reason. Their blood and chi were swallowed by the evil bell to nourish the evil spirit and become an extremely evil demonic bell. This was the life weapon of the evil child. It had been condensed by him to the level of half-step Tongtian. It was infinitely close to a divine bell. Once he broke through to half-step Tongtian, it would definitely become a divine bell. After the evil child poured his power into it, the evil god bell became very large and produced a terrifying suction force. Countless babies were pulling Yang Wu. They cried very sadly and pitifully. It touched the most sympathetic chord in the depths of Yang Wu's heart. The primordial mystic essence Qi in Yang Wu's body produced a sense of resonance. His divine court Dao flower deduced an inexplicable memory. It was a mountain prison. Countless children were brought to a deep pit filled with blood and evil Qi. An evil person swallowed all of their primordial essences. Countless blood and Qi became nourishment for the evil person. He is the evil child king of the Wolf Smoke Mountain prison. He has swallowed so many babies. He really has no humanity. He really deserves to die. Yang Wu roared angrily as he watched this scene. Chapter 12:18. Yang Wu never thought of himself as a good person. However, watching newborn babies being devoured and refined by the evil child, that kind of inhumane behavior really touched his bottom line. Some things could be done, and some things could not be done. What was the difference between the evil child's behavior and that of the devil race? "I will destroy you." Yang Wu faced the evil god Bell, put away all the combat weapons, and unleashed all his strength to attack the evil god Bell. Yang Wu pushed the martial god fist to the limit, and the path of true martial arts appeared. Every punch contained earth-shattering power, and when they hit the evil god Bell, earth-shattering sounds rang out. Dong dong. The evil scene released by the evil god Bell was destroyed by Yang Wu's punches, but the evil god Bell would not be destroyed so easily. The evil child stepped on the top of the bell, and controlled the evil god Bell to continue suppressing Yang Wu. The evil god Bell grew bigger, and the space was enveloped by it. Endless evil energy floated in the bell, containing an extremely terrifying corrosive power. The evil energy kept corroding people's flesh and soul. The two-pronged attack had an astonishing lethality. "I will kill you!" Evil child shouted with a smile like an innocent child. Then, a look of greed appeared on his face. Such an exuberant physique, and it seems to have the chi of the primordial child. It must be an amazing physique. After I refine it, my strength will definitely improve. Bang! Yang Wu could not send the evil god Bell flying, and was finally suppressed by it. After the evil god Bell enveloped Yang Wu, it began to shrink. The terrifying evil chi continued to envelop Yang Wu's body. This kind of power could easily turn a top-tier saint into a pool of blood. Even if Yang Wu had a top-tier Saint Robe's defense, he wouldn't be able to withstand it. Yang Wu possessed the immortal body and had refined the dragon-killing chi. Hence, it was not difficult for him to resist the evil-killing chi. Even if the evil-killing chi invaded his divine court, his fighting soul would be able to defend against it. However, it would not be able to hold on for long as the evil-killing chi was too dense. The corrosive chi was much more terrifying than what Yang Wu had encountered before. Refine the baleful aura to temper the body. Yang Wu was also a daring expert. He circulated the supreme 9 profound arts to absorb the corrosive chi. His tough meridians were almost unable to withstand it. Fortunately, he was able to withstand it. When the power entered his dantian, it was quickly converted into pure energy and fell into his dantian. Break! Yang Wu brandished the martial god's fist and pushed the power of his fist to the limit. His fist was filled with the power of "I am the best" as it landed on the wall of the bell, causing the bell to ring. It's still not enough. Activate it at full power. Yang Wu roared and operated the Supreme 9 Mysteries formula to the limit. The power of his dantian was completely drawn out, and the power of the stars above the 9th heaven was drawn in. Above his fist, 100% of the power of the stars was condensed. It was as if the power of a small star appeared on his body. His fist once again blasted out. Bang bang! The power of each punch was enough to kill a peak saint. It could even challenge a half-step Tongtian. Such power could destroy a mountain range, but it still couldn't destroy the evil god bell. The evil god bell kept shrinking and continued to suppress Yang Wu. If Yang Wu couldn't withstand it, even if he wasn't killed by the corrosive chi, he would be directly turned into a pool of blood by the evil god bell. Fortunately, the evil child didn't want to turn Yang Wu into a pool of blood. He still wanted to suck Yang Wu's blood energy. Therefore, as long as Yang Wu was seriously injured, he could release him and refine Yang Wu. Yang Wu was squeezed in the space of the evil god bell. He continued to attack crazily. Even the baleful dragon aura was forced out. The fist energy he unleashed became more and more powerful. However, it was still a little lacking if he wanted to shatter the half-step Tongtian divine weapon that contained divine iron. After venting, Yang Wu stopped and didn't continue to attack. He also felt that the evil god bell didn't shrink anymore. He continued to use the corrosive chi to refine his body and strive to make his body stronger. If my current fleshly body is comparable to that of a pinnacle sage, or even a half-step into heavenly ascension, I can break this evil god bell with one punch. Yang Wu thought to himself. At this moment, he increasingly understood the importance of a sacred body. In the future, he still had to continue to refine his body and become stronger. In fact, his body had already far surpassed other warriors of the same level. If he continued to become stronger, he would break the limit and reach an even more terrifying stage. He was thinking, if there is a second stage for talent power, then is there a second stage for physical potential? Thinking of this, his heart beat extremely fast. He felt that there must be such a possibility. After the evil child didn't feel Yang Wu's aura, he muttered to himself, "It seems that he can't take it anymore. It's time to enjoy his body." The evil child slowly pulled out the evil god bell. He was very cautious and controlled the evil god bell at all times. As long as he found something wrong, he would suppress Yang Wu again. Die! Yang Wu had been waiting for an opportunity to act. When the evil child opened a little of the evil god bell, he didn't delay any longer. The Big Dipper sword appeared and directly slashed out with an earth-shattering move. Bang! The Big Dipper sword was a true divine weapon. Its power was astonishing. It broke the evil god bell with one slash and injured the evil child, almost splitting him in half. No, impossible. You actually destroyed my divine weapon. The evil child roared as he retreated. Blood spurted out from his mouth. The evil god bell was a divine weapon that he had nurtured. If it was destroyed, he would also be implicated. Not only will I destroy your divine weapon, but I will also cut you into pieces, Yang Wu said as he stared fiercely at the evil child. In the next moment, he took out the sky-catching net and enveloped the evil child. The sky-catching net covered a part of the world. Even the evil child couldn't escape. The evil child's strength was astonishing. He screamed and escaped to the ground. The sky-catching net fell and bound a part of the ground. It didn't catch the evil child. The evil child had already burrowed into the ground and disappeared. Yang Wu didn't expect the evil child to have the ability to burrow into the ground. It wouldn't be easy to find him. Such a divine ability was usually only possessed by a foreign race. It was extremely rare for a human to have it. Just as Yang Wu was about to meet up with Little Hay and the silver-patterned turtle, a force broke out of the ground and shot in his direction. Evil Soul Blood Arrow. The arrow was refined by the evil child using the demon god's divine bone and the heart blood of countless babies. It formed a true divine arrow. It was not a true arrow feather. It was like a hidden weapon that broke out of the ground. It was incomparably swift and contained an extremely domineering blood poison. Yang Wu reacted quickly, but he was still half a beat too slow. He was grazed by the evil soul blood arrow, and a piece of flesh was taken away. An extremely evil force invaded his body. In the past, Yang Wu was immune to all poisons. He was never afraid of anything evil. However, it was different this time. The evil force contained in the arrow went straight into the god's court. Even his fighting soul was affected. It was as if countless babies' resentment had enveloped his god's court and crazily entangled his soul. His bloodline power seemed to have been injected with a unique evil blood that was also devouring his bloodline power. It must be known that Yang Wu's fighting soul and bloodline power were extremely powerful. How could an ordinary evil force invade his body? The evil soul blood arrow that the evil child unleashed this time had truly injured Yang Wu's foundation. He didn't dare to move recklessly. He could only urge his blood chi to resist the fighting soul and try his best to get these evil things out. The evil child rushed out from the ground again. Haha, you've been hit by my evil soul blood arrow. I'll see how you die this time. If anyone dies, you'll die first. Yang Wu's resistance was still far superior to that of an ordinary person. When the evil child reappeared, he urged all his strength to slash at the evil child again. The evil child had never expected that Yang Wu still had strength left. When the sword slashed at him, he couldn't dodge in time and was directly cut in half. You destroyed one of my bodies. I'll refine your body. The evil child was still alive. His soul was still there. It condensed into his appearance and pounced at Yang Wu. This time, Yang Wu really didn't have the strength to kill the evil child. He could only watch as the evil child's soul rushed into his god's court. The evil child's soul power was also extremely abnormal. Even though he had lost his body, he still had a very powerful soul power. When he entered Yang Wu's god's court, he discovered the path flower with 10 petals and a condensed soul. He was overjoyed. What a saintly body! It's mine now. The evil child's soul unleashed countless evil baby faces that tried to devour Yang Wu's war soul. Originally, the power of the evil soul's blood arrow was enough to make Yang Wu suffer. Coupled with the evil child's soul attack, he was in danger. Yang Wu sensed the danger he was in and didn't dare to be careless. He quickly drew on the wisp of immortal chi on the immortal peach tree. This wisp of immortal chi was much stronger than before. It had devoured a lot of the power Yang Wu had cultivated over the years. When Yang Wu used it, it was not stingy in returning the favor. The immortal chi was indeed a special power that transcended the world. When it entered his meridians and blood chi, the chaotic evil power quickly retreated. It could no longer affect Yang Wu's blood chi. After the evil power was forced out, Yang Wu's war soul had no more worries. It could finally fight the evil child head-on. You want my body? You won't be able to do it even in your next life. Yang Wu roared. All of his soul power erupted. A ferocious soul fist exploded. Countless baby faces were shattered. The god's court path flower was also closing, not giving the evil child a chance to use any more evil moves. Impossible. You've been hit by my evil soul's blood arrow. How can you still resist? The evil child let out a cry of disbelief. He used a devouring technique, wanting to completely devour Yang Wu's soul power. He even wanted to devour the god's court path flower. His appetite was really big. Explode. Under the effect of the immortal Qi, Yang Wu eliminated all of the evil power. His war soul was extremely powerful. The ferocious soul fist directly destroyed the evil child's soul. Yang Wu, I won't let you go. Chapter 12:19. The evil child had died. This was not his main body, but a doppelganger. Furthermore, it was a doppelganger that contained a soul. When Yang Wu learned of the situation, he was completely stunned. There were many doppelganger techniques in the world, but there were very few doppelgangers that could condense a soul. The evil child was able to cultivate such a doppelganger. He did not know if it was because of his innate ability or because he cultivated an evil art. In short, it brought quite a shock to Yang Wu. In addition, the evil soul blood arrow had a great impact on him. He had always thought that he had an immortal body and could be fearless of the poisonous aura in the world. Only now did he realize that he had underestimated everyone in the world. His immortal body was not truly immortal. There were still powers that could threaten him. Once a power that surpassed immortal aura appeared, only death would await him. It seems that the progress I thought I had made was just a dream to comfort myself. I still need to become stronger. Creating the strongest sacred body will be my next goal. Yang Wu made up his mind. With the death of the evil child, the other demonic cultivators had already fled. The silver-patterned turtle came to Yang Wu's side. He had been beaten very badly. His turtle shell had cracked, and his injuries were extremely serious. However, he still had an unyielding will and a strong murderous aura. He was truly a natural combat demon. Yang Wu took out a second-grade immortal liquid for him to soak in. His injuries quickly healed, and his strength increased by a lot. If he continued to train like this, it would not be long before he could break through to a higher realm. In fact, he could break through now if he wanted to, but Little Hay did not allow him to. He had to continue building his foundation and condense his bloodline power in order to become a real black tortoise in the future. In Little Hay's eyes, the silver-patterned turtle's bloodline power was too weak. If he did not build a good foundation, it would be even more difficult for him to become a black tortoise in the future. It would be even more difficult than Yang Zhenlong. Yang Zhenlong's bloodline was much better than the silver-patterned turtle's. When he was still in his egg, he had absorbed the blood fiend mystic essence with Yang Wu. Only then was he able to break out of his shell and be born. His foundation was much stronger than an ordinary spirit demon. The silver-patterned turtle's strength was that he had the will to admit defeat. He also had the determination to break through to the peak of spirit demon. He could endure hardships. This was also the reason why Little Hay was willing to train him. The silver-patterned turtle had just fought with the other demonic path saints and displayed an impressive combat prowess, killing 3 primary demonic path saints. If it weren't for the fact that there were other demonic path saints with a higher cultivation than him, he would have been able to continue killing them. Little Hay, take a look at the power of this arrow. Even my immortal body cannot withstand it. If I didn't have a trace of immortal energy in my body, I would have died without a doubt. Yang Wu took the evil soul blood arrow and placed it in front of Little Hay. Little Hay's eyes jumped and her nose twitched. She immediately said, "This arrow was refined from a demon god bone using 108 different poisonous gases as well as the souls and blood essence of 10,000 infants. No wonder it could break through your immortal body. The souls of infants originally belonged to the souls of their predecessors. After fusing with these poisonous gases, it became an extremely evil and poisonous power. Once it invaded a person's blood energy and soul, it could quickly poison them to death. Even a heaven-reaching false divinity would not be able to easily expel it." After Yang Wu heard the refinement method of this evil soul blood arrow, he angrily said, "These evil demons should be killed. How could they have the heart to not even spare infants?" There is a clear distinction between good and evil in this world. Some creatures are born good and some creatures are born evil. This is also known as yin-yang, good and evil. This evil child's methods are just child's play. It is not uncommon for a true God-level creature to refine 100,000 or even 1,000,000 lives into blood energy. Little Hay faintly said, "Is there no justice in this world? Fists and shit are justice. When you have enough strength, you can intimidate the heroes and such evil things will rarely happen. If you don't have enough strength, you might even become food in the mouths of others. This is the world of survival. When I become the strongest in the future, I will definitely change this world." Haha, your ambition is praiseworthy. Unfortunately, you are still far from it. After talking with Little Hay for a while, Yang Wu gradually calmed down. He then asked Little Hay if there was a way to activate the second stage of the body tempering method. Woof woof. You have finally realized the importance of the physical body. Don't think that you are invincible just because you have cultivated to a certain level. You are still far from it. Little Hay excitedly barked twice in response. Then, it seriously said, "From the moment you entered the Saint Realm and received the refinement of the star patterns, you have actually entered the second stage of the body's potential. If you can borrow the power of the stars and refine your body again and again, you will form the sacred star body. Only then will you have truly reached the perfect realm." "What is the sacred star body?" Yang Wu humbly asked. The sacred star body is when the body bears the power of a star and transforms into a star to unleash endless power. Does my current state count as bearing the power of a star? What a joke. You're just like those other sage experts. You've only condensed the power of one star seed, and you think that it's the power of one star. It's only 1/10,000th of the power of one star. Yi Shiwen laughed. Then what should I do to bear the power of a star and transform into a star? Body tempering, body tempering, body tempering, body tempering, soul tempering, body tempering, body tempering, soul tempering, body tempering, soul tempering, body tempering, soul tempering, body tempering, soul 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 tempering. Yang Wu learned many secrets that he had never heard of before. Some cultivation methods were not even recorded in the inheritance of the Yang family ancestors. It was as if a new window had been opened in his divine court. He understood that the path of cultivation was still long and arduous. This was especially so when he thought of what the Supreme Guardian of Wudong had mentioned before. The Transcendent Realm was just one of the realms on Earth's star. There were even more powerful realms, such as the legendary Heavenly Realm. The living beings there might be just as Xiao He had said. They were powerful beings who had cultivated to the extreme. He also thought that Little Hay might be a creature that had descended from the divine realm. Otherwise, how could it know so much? Yang Wu sat cross-legged on the silver-patterned tortoise. As he rushed to Thunder Mountain, he continued to communicate with Little Hay to learn more about the secrets he wanted to know. Yang Wu had already reached the celestial rune realm. Little Hay was also willing to tell Yang Wu some secret. In another world, some people were born with divine or divine bodies. They had unparalleled talent in cultivation. They could become saints at the age of 10 and gods before they were 100 years old. Some people were born with boundless strength and could destroy a world. Some people were born with medicinal bodies and could refine all kinds of elixirs. There were also people who were born with 10 kinds of innate divine abilities and were considered the children of gods and demons. These creatures who were born with outstanding talents were many times more powerful than the people of the transcendent realm. Meanwhile, People like Yang Wu at his age and cultivation level could only be considered as ordinary geniuses. They could not even be considered as prodigies. Therefore, Yang Wu still did not have the time to be arrogant. After Yang Wu heard this, he was extremely shocked. It was hard to imagine how monstrous those creatures were. What kind of world was that? The silver-patterned tortoise on Yang Wu was also extremely shocked. Its strength was far inferior to Yang Wu's. If it went to the world that little Hay spoke of, would it still have a chance to survive? It was likely that it would become food on the plate of others. It seems that I have to work harder, the silver-patterned tortoise thought to itself. Soon, they finally arrived at the most famous Thunder Mountain in the Kunlun realm. This Thunder Mountain was densely covered with heavenly thunder all year round. It contained an extremely rich power of thunder and lightning. It was a cultivation paradise for thunder warriors. The Purple Cloud Palace had once thought of making this mountain the location of a branch palace. However, after sending out powerful figures to explore it, they finally retreated. This Thunder Mountain contained unknown dangers. Ordinary warriors could only cultivate in the periphery. Once they went deep inside, it was almost a situation of death. This was also known as the Thunder Mountain Forbidden Area. Yang Wu was on his way to the Thunder Mountain to refine his heavenly thunder bone again. After listening to Little Hay's description of the power of the other world, he was even more determined to cultivate in this Thunder Mountain. Even if he did not specialize in the power of thunder and lightning, he had to cultivate the 9 thunders reshaping technique to the great success stage. When they arrived nearby, they saw a purple divine mountain towering in front of them from afar. It occupied a large area, and purple lightning flashed from time to time. It looked like a purple lightning snake, but it also looked like a divine thunder creature. It was really unpredictable. There was once a powerful cultivator of the heaven-reaching realm who did not want to believe in the terror contained in this Thunder Mountain. He wanted to cultivate a powerful thunder body and forcefully charge to the peak of the Thunder Mountain. In the end, he was blasted into dust in front of everyone. Little Hay stared at the Thunder Mountain. A trace of light flashed in her eyes as she said, "I didn't expect there to be such a divine mountain. It seems that back then, something really fell into the mortal world." "Little Hay, what are you talking about?" Yang Wu asked in return. "Nothing. This time, I might be cultivating here for a period of time. I'll take the opportunity to undo a trace of my seal. You and Little Silver can leave after you're done cultivating. I'll look for you after I'm done," Little Hay said seriously. "Little Hay, is there something you need on this mountain?" Yang Wu asked again. "Maybe there is." Little Hay did not dare to be sure. After a pause, she said, "Your immortality peach tree has already grown a tree spirit. The energy here is very beneficial to it. Maybe you can borrow its energy and go deeper. But remember, do not reach the peak. You will be reduced to ashes." Yang Wu rarely saw Little Hay so serious. This proved that the Thunder Mountain really contained some great terror. They arrived at the foot of the Thunder Mountain and saw many martial artists coming and going. Most of them were martial artists who cultivated the power of thunder. They could sense it from the purple aura they released. When Yang Wu approached, a few martial artists with ill intentions rode on spirit beasts and surrounded him. "Little brother, are you going to enter the Thunder Mountain to cultivate?" The man in the lead asked with a trace of evil aura. "That's right. That's great. You can enter after paying 100,000 Xian stones." Chapter 12:20. Where there were people, there would be rivers and lakes. Thunder Mountain contained the power of all kinds of lightning seeds. Regardless of whether it was the older generation of lightning cultivators or the younger generation of lightning cultivators, they would all come to Thunder Mountain from time to time. These lightning cultivators all had their own fortuitous encounters. Some obtained lightning-type spirit medicines and sacred medicines, some refined lightning seeds, and some even awakened lightning divine abilities. It was because of this that the lightning cultivators of the transcendent world called this place the sacred land of lightning cultivators, and not the forbidden Thunder Mountain that others spoke of. With so many people coming and going, there would naturally be some daring people. These people specifically came to collect the mountain entrance fee from the warriors who cultivated near Thunder Mountain. The so-called fee to enter the mountain was nothing more than a forced fee, a trick of robbery. If there was a disagreement, they would even kill someone to steal their wealth. These people were all observant. If they encountered a powerful lightning cultivator, they would not dare to act rashly. They would only attack the fat sheep that looked like they could handle. Yang Wu brought 2 demonic beasts. One was a silver-patterned tortoise that looked extremely fierce, and the other was a little hay-hound that was ignored by others. For a lone martial cultivator like this, no matter how strong they would not exceed the Star Mark realm. They would only target warriors who were in the Dragon Transformation realm or below. The 8 people in front of him were members of the Thunder Gang. The Thunder Gang was one of the strongest forces near Thunder Mountain. They had a saint overseeing it and had 3,000 lightning cultivators under them. It was a gang formed by many scum lightning cultivators. Yang Wu did not understand the situation in Thunder Mountain, but he had experienced many things. When he was heading to the Hidden Heaven domain, he had passed through a desolate area and captured the Hong Mo and Hong Ing couple alive. He could tell at a glance that these people in front of him were plunderers. An imperceptible sneer flashed across his face as he said, "Brothers, I'm just passing by to take a look. There's no need to pay a fee, right?" Haha. Thunder Mountain is a private restricted area. It's not a place where you can come and go as you please. Hurry up and take out 100,000 profound stones. Otherwise, I'll rob you of everything. The man who just opened his mouth laughed wildly. He paused for a moment, looked at Yang Wu up and down and said, "Look at your soft and tender skin, not bad at all. Our vice leader happens to like pretty boys like you. Why don't you accompany our vice leader for a few nights? If he's satisfied, he might let you stay in Thunder Mountain for a few days." Someone at the side winked and said, Yes, the vice gang leader likes this kind of handsome guy the most. As long as you serve him well, anything can be discussed." "Is your vice leader pretty?" Yang Wu asked. "Haha, our vice sect leader looks wise and mighty." The man who had just spoken laughed wildly. Yang Wu's face darkened as he shouted, "Scram!" As his voice fell, the 8 people nearby only felt the sound of thunder exploding in their ears. It shook their souls and caused them to bleed from their 7 orifices. They fell to the ground on the spot. They all looked at Yang Wu in horror. They couldn't understand how a 16-year-old youth could have such terrifying power. Could he be a saint who had regained his youth? Saint's sound technique. This was a saint's ability. With Yang Wu's current ability, he could already issue an imperial edict. His every word and action contained boundless saint power. These people in front of him were only in the dragon transformation realm. It would be easy for him to kill them. His shout was just to teach them a lesson. He believed that after they were injured, there would be many people who would come down the mountain to kill them. With his strength as a saint, it would be lowering his status to kill these people. Just as he was about to fly to Thunder Mountain, another saint's sound rang out, "Who dares to harm my Thunder Gang's disciples?" A saint flew over on a thunder condor. This person looked mighty and majestic. He carried a thunder battle blade on his back. His eyes were like lightning, and his saint chi was shocking. He was a level 3 astral pattern realm expert. He was the vice leader of the Thunder Gang, Che Mingfeng. There were many Thunder Gang members nearby, but not many of them were in the saint realm. Che Mingfeng's strength was already the vice leader of the Thunder Gang. After Che Mingfeng arrived, the Thunder Gang members also quickly flew over from all directions. In the blink of an eye, more than 100 people had gathered. Yang Wu flashed a look of surprise. "These raiders are really bold. Haven't they touched an iron plate before?" Yang Wu didn't know. It wasn't that they hadn't touched a metal plate before, but that those martial arts cultivators who cultivated the power of thunder all had backgrounds. If they wanted to come to Thunder Mountain to cultivate, they would have to obtain a token from their sect. The Thunder Gang members wouldn't mess with people they couldn't afford to mess with, who would attack without a word like him. Kid, you've got some guts. You dare hurt a member of our Thunderbolt Gang? Hurry up and tell us your name. Let's see if our Thunderbolt Gang can afford to offend you, Che Mingfeng shouted at Yang Wu in a condescending manner. Yang Wu couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense with him. He patted the silver-striped turtle and said, "Little Silver, I'll leave them to you. Master, don't worry. I'll eat them." The silver-striped turtle wiped away its ferocity and shouted, charging towards Che Mingfeng. Overlord Fist. The silver-striped turtle had also comprehended the essence of fist intent. Even if it hadn't comprehended the way of Black Tortoise, its natural domineering demonic power was extraordinary. Demonic Saint. Che Mingfeng's eyes twitched as he exclaimed. Then, he shouted with a fierce expression, "If you don't tell us your name, we'll kill you for nothing. Kill them!" Xian Mingfeng was in charge of the people entering the mountain. Naturally, he wouldn't give way so easily. Since they weren't willing to tell us their names, then we'll just have to fight. Che Mingfeng wasn't weak either. Especially before entering the Thunder Mountains, he had the strength to fight against a mid-tier saint. His lightning arts could draw on the dense lightning energy here to fight. He shattered the silver-striped turtle's fist energy, but the silver-striped turtle took the opportunity to close in. A ray of blue light shot out from its mouth and pierced towards him. Just as Che Mingfeng was about to destroy the blue blade, it suddenly changed direction and stabbed towards his mount, the Thunderballed Eagle. The Thunderballed Eagle was also a demonic saint. Unfortunately, its battle strength couldn't compare to the silver-striped turtle. It couldn't dodge the silver-striped turtle's blue blade, and a large bloody hole appeared in its abdomen. "How dare you? Today I'll kill you and eat you." Che Mingfeng was furious. He erupted with a powerful battle strength and began to fight the silver-striped turtle. Yang Wu and Little Hay were ignored by him. In his opinion, that young man and Little Hay had no ability. They definitely dared to come to the Thunder Mountains because of this demonic saint's protection. At this time, Yang Wu and Little Hay had already disappeared. The Thunder Gang members didn't know where they went. These people have done many evil things. Little Silver, don't hold back. Yang Wu transmitted his voice to the silver-striped turtle as he was about to step into the Thunder Mountains. "Yes, master," the silver-striped turtle replied excitedly. It could finally go on a killing spree. The silver-striped turtle's body contained a primitive evil chi. Perhaps it was this evil chi that kept it moving forward. At the foot of the Thunder Mountains, there were streaks of lightning energy. Anyone who stepped on this place would be struck by lightning. Ordinary people couldn't even get close to this place, especially on the 15th of every month, when the lightning energy would descend. Even Dragon Transformation Realm cultivators wouldn't dare to get close. Yang Wu stepped on these streaks of lightning, feeling the faint traces of lightning energy. He couldn't help but exclaim, "The lightning energy here is enough for any Earth-Sea Realm cultivator to absorb. It's really a magical place." Several years ago, when Yang Wu entered the Heavenly Palace, there was an area with purple clouds of lightning. There, Yang Wu had tempered his heavenly lightning bone. After that, he had used the lightning energy from refining pills to temper his body. Other than that, he had never come to a place like the Thunder Mountains to cultivate. He mainly cultivated water-type profound chi. The lightning energy was only because he had cultivated the 9 lightning body tempering technique, condensed the heavenly lightning bone, and awakened his innate talent, which allowed him to use the lightning energy. Little Wu, you have to make good use of the lightning here to temper your soul. When your soul is strong enough, you can refine divine pills. You have a divine weapon on you, so it won't be a problem for you to walk halfway up the mountain. Remember, don't go to the peak. Otherwise, this celestial emperor won't be able to save you. After Little Hay reminded Yang Wu, she quickly rushed into the Thunder Mountains and quickly disappeared in front of Yang Wu's eyes. Not long after, Little Hay's voice sounded out again. Little Wu, you have to walk your own path. Cultivate and comprehend more. Walk a path of invincibility that belongs to you. This celestial emperor has high hopes for you. This time, Little Hay completely disappeared. Yang Wu clenched his fists and muttered, Little Hay, don't worry. I won't let you down. In the next moment, he also strode towards the Thunder Mountains. Circulating the Supreme Nine profound formula, strands of lightning energy entered his body. This kind of low-level lightning energy couldn't hurt him and could only nourish his dantian. It didn't even have the qualifications to temper his bones. Yang Wu wasn't in a hurry. He wanted to climb step by step and slowly adapt to the environment here. Moreover, he could use the lightning energy here to enhance the electric fork's aura. Just as Little Hay said, cultivating and comprehending more was the path he should take. The Thunder Mountains were filled with the power of lightning. Every flower, every blade of grass, and every tree contained the power of lightning. They survived by devouring the power of lightning and contained enough lightning energy to mutate. Yang Wu carefully looked at the flowers, grass, and trees. He released his 5 senses to the maximum and sensed the place, looking for a suitable point to comprehend. Not long after, a lightning tiger rushed out and bit at Yang Wu angrily. Yang Wu didn't make a move. He only glared at the lightning tiger. The lightning tiger immediately curled up like a kitten and lay on the ground. It didn't dare to approach Yang Wu at all. It begged, Please forgive me, sage. Yang Wu ignored it and continued to walk up the mountain. The power of lightning is everywhere. The aura of lightning is everywhere. Every flower, grass, tree, mountain, and rock is lightning. Thunder can roar, lightning can flash, heaven can crack, and earth can be destroyed. Lightning is merciless, and so is the heavenly Tao. My aura is based on the heavenly thunder bone, and heaven and earth are the prison. I control heaven and earth. Everything is lightning, and I destroy all life. The Tao of lightning is also the Tao of punishment. It punishes on behalf of the heavens. It is righteous and righteous. Chapter 12:21. The Thunder Mountain was covered with thunder and lightning. The power of thunder and lightning would strike down from the sky from time to time. It looked very spectacular. The young man was wearing a hidden robe. He walked up the Thunder Mountain step by step. The power of thunder and lightning lingered on his body. Not only did it not cause any harm to him, but it also turned into thunder serpents that swam around him. It seemed that he was very happy. These thunder serpents gathered more and more. They gradually formed a thunder and lightning aura. This aura continued to expand from the original range of 15 meters. It continued to expand. 30 meters, 150 meters, 200 meters. It reached a range of 10 miles in a few blinks of an eye. The aura of 10 miles was very spectacular. However, it was still too small for a Sage Realm creature. The range of a Sage Realm creature's control was calculated in hundreds or thousands of miles. The young man in front of him did not control such a large range of aura. He seemed to have fallen into a state of enlightenment. Every step he took was very slow. However, the thunder and lightning aura became incomparably solid after every step. The thunder and lightning aura became more powerful. Those thunder serpents also became bigger and bigger. In addition, the thunder and lightning aura was also constantly changing. It seemed as if it was deducing an ancient thunderbolt. The god of thunder and the goddess of lightning were punishing on behalf of the heavens. Bursts of thunder shook the world and deterred the evildoers of the world. The electric forks spurted out lightning and killed the ancient devils. The electric forks in the young man's body flickered incessantly. Electric forks flew out of his bones and formed an electric forks aura. This was Yang Wu's electric forks aura. Each electric forks carried an astonishing power of thunder and lightning. They were like divine electric forks with clear rewards and punishments. They would eliminate all evildoers with one strike. Yang Wu took big strides and walked up the Thunder Mountain with this aura. The Thunder Mountain towered into the clouds. The body of the mountain was incomparably huge. A person standing on the mountain looked like an ant crawling on it. It would take 10 days to half a month to reach the top of the mountain if one did not fly. Yang Wu condensed his electric fork aura field and entered a state of Tao enlightenment. He walked faster and faster, and more lightning gathered in his electric fork aura field. Ordinary lightning, scarlet fire lightning, golden snake lightning, purple cloud lightning, black demon lightning. All kinds of lightning appeared and fell into Yang Wu's electric forked aura, becoming the power of Yang Wu's electric forked aura. This was the Tao of lightning that Yang Wu had comprehended. It allowed him to transform all lightning into his own, using his body as lightning to temper every part of his body. The black demon lightning was a type of lightning energy that was even more terrifying than the purple cloud thunder. It only appeared halfway up the mountain, and each bolt could make a saint-level creature suffer unspeakably. It could even easily kill a saint-level creature. Fortunately, the black devil lightning was the lightning that nourished the Thunder Mountains, and not the raw lightning that struck down from the sky. If it was the raw lightning that just struck down, even a peak sage realm creature would not be able to withstand it. Yang Wu climbed halfway up the mountain in one breath, and his eyes gradually became much clearer. He sighed softly and said, "I've comprehended another martial Tao." There were 3,000 great Taos and thousands of minor Tao. Each Tao contained extraordinary power. Ordinary warriors would only cultivate one type of martial Tao in order to reach the extreme of this martial Tao and become more powerful. Even the most monstrous of geniuses would not choose more than 2 types of martial Tao. If there were too many types of martial Tao, they were afraid that if they did not have the heart to cultivate to the extreme, the power they could unleash would be limited. Now Yang Wu had the Tao of life and death, the Tao of death, the Tao of alchemy, the Zhenwu boxing, the Tao of Taiji, the black tortoise sword Tao, the star-swallowing sword Tao, the black tortoise spear Tao, the black tortoise offense Tao, and the Tao of lightning. There were a total of 10 types of martial Tao. If this news were to spread, who knew how many creatures would be scared to death? Many geniuses of the human clan wanted to comprehend one type of martial Tao but could not. However, he had actually comprehended 10 types of martial Tao. How could others survive? If other powerful figures knew about this situation, they would definitely persuade Yang Wu to only cultivate one type of martial Tao that was most suitable for him. There was no need to waste time on other types of martial Tao. If it were in the past, Yang Wu might have thought the same. He also did not expect to comprehend so many types of martial Tao. Who asked him to have such an abnormal perception? He easily comprehended the martial Tao that others pursued but could not in their lifetime. This was not his original intention. However, since he had already comprehended it, he would not give up again. Before coming to Thunder Mountain, he had a conversation with Little Hay. He knew that there were even more terrifying geniuses in the higher realms. Those people were born with the potential to cultivate martial Tao. It was normal for them to cultivate multiple types of martial Tao. As long as they had enough perception, they could cultivate multiple types of martial Tao at the same time. Only when they integrated all the types of martial Tao in the future could they become the strongest God-level warrior. This was also the reason why Yang Wu did not deliberately avoid comprehending other types of martial Tao. If possible, he also wanted to comprehend fire-type martial Tao in the future. He even wanted to comprehend brute force martial Tao, wind martial Tao, and so on. As long as he could cultivate, it would be best if he could enter the martial Tao. He learned from Little Hay that there were higher types of martial Tao. Martial Tao was just a basic starting point. It would not affect the speed of his cultivation at all. Moreover, in the general direction, the Death Dao had been integrated by him into the Life and Death Dao. It could be considered as a type of martial Dao. The Black Tortoise Sword Dao, Spear Dao and Discharge Dao could also be considered as a type of Black Tortoise Dao. In addition to the Pill Dao, Zhenwu Boxing Dao, Tai Chi Dao, Star Swallowing Sword Dao and Thunder Dao, there were a total of 7 types of martial Dao. Roar. Suddenly, the roar of a beast rang out. A domineering power of thunder and lightning blasted in his direction. This power of thunder and lightning had just approached Yang Wu's electric fork aura when it was blocked by the electric fork aura. Yang Wu looked in that direction and found that it was a thunder beast. Thunder beasts were ferocious beasts that were born by absorbing heavenly thunder. They looked very strange. They had the head of an ox, the body of a tiger, the claws of a lion and the hair of a horse. They were covered in scales. The power of thunder and lightning lingered around their bodies. They could erupt with astonishing power at any time. They also had the talent to summon thunder and lightning. This thunder beast was not a threat to Yang Wu at all. What made Yang Wu feel pressured was that he seemed to have entered the thunder beast's territory. Thunder beasts rushed out from all directions. Once these thunder beasts erupted, they would definitely attract heavenly thunder. This was not something that ordinary saints could withstand. "Brother, don't mess around. I'm just passing by." Yang Wu had no intention of making an enemy of the thunder beast. He said weakly, "Roar, roar." The thunder beasts did not have intelligence. They were very ferocious. They did not care whether Yang Wu was passing by or not. They would kill anyone who came close to their territory. They roared, and the power of thunder and lightning bombarded Yang Wu. "You're forcing me to kill." Yang Wu sighed softly. His finger bones flicked, and a finger light broke through the air and hit the thunder beast. Lightning finger. When Yang Wu comprehended the Tao of thunder, the power of his lightning finger was like a real bolt of lightning. His attack was extremely fast and contained an earth-shattering power. A few thunder beasts were hit by the lightning finger and were sent flying. The other thunder beasts rushed over crazily. They seemed to be fighting Yang Wu with no regard for their lives. In fact, they were constantly gathering the power of thunder and lightning around them, especially the wisps of black demon thunder. Every wisp could be refined into the power of the black demon seed. They contained extremely shocking power. After the black demon thunder poured into their bodies, their power became even more terrifying. ZZ. The black demon thunder condensed into a magnetic field and blasted toward Yang Wu's electric fork aura. Previously, you and I worked together to condense a thunder and electromagnetic field. This time, I will use the Tao of thunder to condense my own electric fork aura. A trace of madness flashed across Yang Wu's face. He didn't try to block these black demon thunders. Instead, he operated the Supreme Nine Mysteries formula and urged the electric forks to collide and fuse with the black demon magnetic field. Refine. Yang Wu planned to use the electric fork aura to absorb the black demon magnetic field and cultivate a thunder and electromagnetic field. This was undoubtedly a bold idea. It was easier said than done to fuse his own power and an external power. The Tao of Tai Chi. Yang Wu used the essence of the Tao of Tai Chi to stir the black demon magnetic field together with the electric fork aura. The heavenly thunder bone in his body flourished, and the electric fork aura released a trace of the black demon magnetic field's ability to devour it. 9. Thunder Body Tempering Technique. Most of the black demon magnetic field was pulverized, but a part of it still entered the electric fork aura and was absorbed into the heavenly thunder bone. At the same time, he released his senses to the maximum. His eyesight and hearing were not inferior to those martial artists who had activated their eyes and ears' aura talent. He could clearly see the various changes in the black demon magnetic field. The key to turning the electric fork aura into a magnetic field was the magnetic force. As long as the power of thunder and lightning was strong enough to produce the devouring power of thunder and lightning, it could absorb all the power of thunder and lightning. Then, it could release the power of repelling other powers to form a magnetic field. Yang Wu understood the principle of the magnetic field from the two senses of sight and hearing. Moreover, he had once cooperated with Yu Yu to condense a thunder and electromagnetic field. He was no stranger to this aspect. He murmured, "The magnetic field absorbs the source of the same sex and repels the source of the opposite sex. It condenses a battle domain that belongs to one's own." Yang Wu urged the electric fork's aura field. Despite the constant attacks of the thunder beasts, they were unable to break through his aura field. Instead, more black demon lightning was being absorbed into the electric fork's aura field. The electric fork's aura field was gradually transforming into an electric fork's magnetic field. These thunder beasts were becoming more and more irritated. Their power of thunder and lightning could not harm Yang Wu, so they could only fight in close quarters. A thunder beast rushed into Yang Wu's electric fork aura field. It was immune to the power of thunder and lightning, and it seemed that Yang Wu's electric fork aura field could not harm it. However, just as it was about to rush at Yang Wu, the electric fork aura field transformed into a sharp blade and strangled the thunder beast. Puff! The thunder beast did not even have time to scream before it was twisted into a pool of blood by the power of the electric fork aura field. This was the magnetic field condensed by Yang Wu. Any power that was not his would be repelled. The thunder beast was even more so affected by the repelling effect, so it was killed. The blood of the other thunder beasts was aroused. They madly rushed toward Yang Wu's electric fork aura field. Yang Wu's eyes lit up. He shouted in surprise, "The way of thunder, myriad thunder for my use. Innate electric fork aura field, condense for me." Suddenly, a terrifying electric fork aura field was formed with Yang Wu as the center. Countless electricity turned into electric forks that wreaked havoc in this part of the world. Boom! Boom! Chapter 12:22 Electric fork force field and electric fork magnetic field only had a one-word difference, but their power was worlds apart. Electric fork force field was just a lightning zone formed by lingering thunder and lightning, while electric fork magnetic field could continuously absorb the heavenly thunder from the outside world and repel the power of the opposite sex. When Yang Wu's electric fork magnetic field condensed, the power of thunder and lightning within 100 miles kept converging toward Yang Wu. It also contained the terrifying Black Demon Thunder. The power of the Black Demon Thunder was many times stronger than the one he had just absorbed. Even a half-step heavenly ascension expert might not be able to withstand it. When the Black Demon Thunder fell on Yang Wu's body, Yang Wu's skin instantly split open. Pieces of his flesh were charred by the thunder and lightning. His meridians and bones were exposed before his eyes, causing him to grimace in pain. Yang Wu often refined sage elixirs to withstand the power of heavenly thunder and temper his powerful saint body. Now that he had broken through to the 5th-level celestial rune realm, he had a body comparable to a top-notch saint. His endurance had reached a new level, but he still couldn't withstand the terrifying Black Demon Thunder. 9 Lightning Body Tempering Technique. Yang Wu operated the body tempering technique and began to guide the Black Demon Thunder into his heavenly thunderbone. He wanted to borrow the power of the heavenly thunder to temper his thunderbone again. Yang Wu ignored the thunder beasts around him. They were no longer a threat to him. After a portion of the thunder beasts were killed by his electric fork magnetic field, the rest of the thunder beasts realized that the power of the electric fork magnetic field surpassed theirs. Moreover, they felt the same aura, so they retreated one by one. Yang Wu sat cross-legged on the ground. The heavenly thunderbone in his body was constantly being baptized by the power of thunder. The Black Demon Thunder was too powerful, and many of his heavenly thunderbones were shattered. If he couldn't withstand the tempering of the Black Demon Thunder, his bones would definitely shatter and he would die without a burial place. The magic of the 9 Lightning Body Tempering Technique manifested itself. The power of the Black Demon Thunder was compressed by a lot, and Yang Wu's immortal body also revealed its abnormal side. The cracked thunder bones were once again mended, and when a new wave of black demon thunder came in, they cracked again, and then quickly mended again. This cycle repeated endlessly, and carried out a very cruel tempering. Fortunately, Yang Wu's fleshly body was strong enough. Otherwise, he would not have been able to withstand the black demon lightning. He sat cross-legged for 7 days and 7 nights, and all the bones in his body were tempered. His bones became incomparably tough, like divine weapons, containing boundless lightning power. This was only the first tempering of the heavenly thunderbone, but it already allowed him to possess the power of the black demon thunder, because he actually refined a black demon thunder bead. This was the thunder origin bead. Only thunder beasts who were born with lightning could condense it. Who would have thought that Yang Wu could use the 9 lightning body tempering technique to condense an additional black demonic thunder bead? This black demon thunder bead alone could create a martial artist with the innate black demon thunder body. Its value was extraordinary. If it were to explode, even a half step into heaven ascension would be killed. The black demon thunder power contained in it was too rich. Now, it existed in his heavenly thunderbone, embedded in the dragon-shaped spine on his waist. It was like a strange dragon bead, and was very mysterious and extraordinary. Yang Wu looked at the black demon thunder bead inwardly and said in surprise, "Is this the origin bead that I nurtured? Didn't you say that only after reaching the heaven ascension realm can one do this?" Yang Wu summoned the black demon thunder bead from his body. The moment he summoned the black demon thunder bead, the thunder mountain flashed with purple light, and dark clouds condensed at the top of the thunder mountain. A sea of lightning appeared above the thunder mountain. Yang Wu sensed something strange and looked up. Instantly, he had an impulse to go weak in the knees. This terrifying sea of lightning contained an extremely terrifying power. Once it fell, he had no confidence in blocking it. Retreat. No matter how arrogant Yang Wu was, he did not dare to be arrogant. Without hesitation, he retreated down the mountain. However, the sea of lightning had its eyes on him, and a wave of lightning energy came crashing down on him like a lightning snake. This wave of lightning power not only contained crimson fire thunder, but also golden snake thunder, purple cloud thunder, and black demon thunder. It was a 4-colored divine thunder. The divine thunder was the power of lightning that even the heaven ascension realm experts did not dare to easily resist. If anyone below the heaven ascension realm was hit by this 4-colored divine thunder, they would immediately turn into dust. Yang Wu looked at this wave of 4-colored divine thunder and cried out involuntarily, "It's over!" When the heavenly thunder fell, the divine weapon electric fork in Yang Wu's body rushed out and blocked this wave of divine thunder in advance. Boom! Boom! The terrifying sound of thunder and lightning was shocking, containing the power to destroy the world. The entire Thunder Mountain was filled with boundless lightning power. The mountain was shaking non-stop, and many creatures were frightened. Thunder Mountain had lightning all year round, but a divine mountain like this was especially rare. The divine weapon electric fork produced a powerful devouring power and swallowed most of the lightning power of the 4-colored divine thunder. Some of the divine thunder was still raging toward Yang Wu. The remaining lightning power was still terrifying. Yang Wu came back to his senses and raised the black demon thunder orb. He used the 9 lightning body tempering technique to absorb the remaining lightning power. When Yang Wu came into contact with the lightning power, his entire body twitched violently. He felt as if his body was being torn apart. Fortunately, the black demon thunder orb absorbed a part of the lightning power and reduced the pressure on him. Otherwise, even if he did not die, he would have been seriously injured. Refine. Yang Wu gritted his teeth and shouted. This wave of lightning power was refined into the heavenly thunder bone, tempering his body again. At the same time, the immortal peach tree above his dantian swayed with divine light and swallowed all the lightning power in his body. It even said, "Master, you can rest assured and absorb more power. It will be very useful to me." My body can't take it anymore. If I absorb more, I will die, Yang Wu said with difficulty. However, he had no choice but to absorb more power. Another wave of divine thunder fell. There were a total of 91 different four-colored divine thunder, and their power was even more terrifying than before. Each bolt was like a lightning snake or a lightning dragon. In an instant, they landed on the divine weapon electric fork. The divine weapon electric fork emitted a boundless amount of lightning light and kept on growing bigger. It actually pierced into the thunderclouds. Yang Wu could not understand why the divine weapon electric fork would have such a strange change. He did not control it at all. He did not have time to think too much. Another wave of divine thunder power went past the divine weapon electric fork and blasted toward him. Immortal Peach Tree, it's up to you. Yang Wu let go of the restraints on his body and allowed the immortal peach tree to release its power and absorb it. Master, I am still young. I cannot absorb the divine thunder through your body, the immortal peach tree replied weakly. Ah! After hearing what the immortality peach tree had to say, Yang Wugong screamed again. His body fell to the ground and twitched. His skin was charred black, and blood kept oozing out. The sacred mandala flower on his body was so scared that it peed itself. It jumped out of Yang Wugong's body and said, "My lord, take care of yourself. I'm afraid of the power of the godly lightning the most." The sacred mandala flower actually escaped. If it was any other time, Yang Wu could easily control the sacred mandala flower. However, his soul and body were now covered in divine thunder. He was in danger of dying. How could he have the mind to care about the sacred mandala flower? Moreover, they had a master-servant contract. If he died, the sacred mandala flower would not be able to live. The sacred mandala flower did not really run away. Instead, it let the immortal peach tree deal with the divine thunder power. It had just endured a wave of divine thunder power, and it was already enough for it to refine its body. The immortal flat peach blossom in Yang Wu's body unleashed its power once again as it absorbed the power of the divine thunder. More and more thunder patterns appeared on its stem and leaves, which were very similar to the great Tao of stars that it had imprinted on before. As expected of the immortal peach tree, it was not afraid of any kind of power. "Leave some power for me. I need to refine my soul and body." Yang Wu transmitted his voice to the immortal peach tree after the pain was alleviated. Since he wanted to refine his body, he naturally did not want to miss this opportunity. No matter how painful it was, he had to endure it. Only then could he become even more powerful. Divine thunder tempering the soul, tempering the body, and the 9 lightning body tempering technique, activate. Yang Wu sat cross-legged and roared. He activated the 9 lightning body tempering technique as fast as he could. The remaining traces of divine thunder power flowed through his body. It was no longer limited to the heavenly thunderbone. It was going to temper every part of his body, including his soul. Souls were most afraid of fire and lightning power. Once they came into contact with it, they would be turned into ashes. Yang Wu channeled the power of lightning into his soul. He was simply courting death. Yang Wu did not want to die. His soul was also being tempered by the 9 lightning body tempering technique. Moreover, he had the protection of the divine court Tao flower. He could definitely endure it. When the lightning entered his soul, he couldn't help but scream in pain. He did not fall to the ground. He was still sitting cross-legged and forming seals. The divine court Tao flower and soul were both injured. It was as if his soul had been attacked. "Endure it, I will endure it. Refine." Yang Wu gritted his teeth and endured the pain with his strong will. He didn't use immortal energy to recover. Instead, after the lightning energy was refined, he immediately used the Soul Control Heart Sutra's recovery chapter to quickly recover his soul energy. Moreover, he also refined a trace of soul spring to speed up his recovery. When his divine court Tao flower and soul recovered, he felt that they had become much stronger. It is indeed effective. It is just too unbearable. Continue. Yang Wu gritted his teeth and continued to channel the lightning power to temper the divine court Dao flower. He had completely forgotten about the godly lightning trident. It went into the dark clouds and the thunder sea, absorbing all the lightning power in the thunder sea. Many complicated lightning marks appeared on the trident, and the great Tao of thunder was clearly imprinted on it. The dark clouds did not disperse. Divine thunder fell from time to time. However, the power of the lightning was not as strong as before. Even if it fell on Yang Wu, it could not kill him in one go. The immortal immortality peach tree would immediately take away the danger and leave some for him to temper his body. Yang Wu repeatedly tempered his body and soul. Traces of inexplicable impurities were expelled from his body. Yang Wu had recultivated in the God of War pagoda for 10 years and achieved the innate fetal body. It was one level higher than the immaculate body. However, under the tempering of the divine lightning, impurities were still expelled. These impurities were the accumulated impurities from his years of cultivation. For example, when he ate, there would be impurities left behind. For example, some minor injuries left behind after battles. For example, when he refined other powers, there would be impurities left behind. Chapter 12:23. Thunder Mountain was covered with divine lightning, and the thunder beasts on the mountain kept moving down. Those who were cultivating at the foot of the mountain were chased away, not daring to stay on the Thunder Mountain. However, there were also some brave martial artists who went up against the flow. They thought there might be treasures on the Thunder Mountain, and they wanted to see if there was an opportunity to take them. However, after touching the divine lightning, they were immediately turned into ashes. Many creatures were frightened, and they hurriedly rolled down from the Thunder Mountain. There was a strong man who was half a step away from the heaven-reaching realm. His purple hair fluttered in the wind, and he wore a purple robe. The thunder-swallowing divine tower floated above his head, and he walked up against the Thunder Mountain step by step. This person was different from the others. His thunder-swallowing divine tower was a true divine weapon. It could swallow thousands of lightning bolts, and it could also allow him to ignore the power of lightning here. He looked around and saw the thunderclouds in the sky, and then the huge shadow of the divine weapon. Greed flashed across his face. I didn't expect to come across such an opportunity just to kill a kid. It seems that the divine item on the Thunder Mountain must be amazing. He sped up. With the help of the thunder-swallowing divine tower, he felt that he could do whatever he wanted on the Thunder Mountain. However, when he was halfway up the mountain, the power of divine lightning fell, and his thunder-swallowing divine tower shook. At the same time, he also felt that the power of the divine lightning was extremely terrifying, so he became more careful. He was afraid that the thunder-swallowing divine tower couldn't withstand it, and then he would be in trouble. When the divine lightning appears, the divine item will appear. This person was more and more certain that there was an amazing divine item on the mountain. He was determined to seize this opportunity. Halfway up the mountain, Yang Wu didn't know that someone was approaching. He continued to refine his soul and body for half a day. He experienced the taste of death many times, but fortunately, the improvement was very obvious. The divine court Dao flower seemed to have come to life, and it was branded with some thunder patterns. His soul became more condensed, and his soul power became more powerful. He realized that although his soul seemed condensed before, it was actually far from being condensed. With his current soul power, it was easy for him to kill the soul of a top-level saint, and he should be able to deal with a half-step into the heaven-reaching realm. It wasn't that his soul power had broken through to the half-step Tongtian realm. Instead, it was that his soul power had fallen to the high-level saint realm. However, his soul power was only strong, not weak. That was because his soul power that had reached the peak saint realm was just an illusion. It was a weak soul power. Now, his soul power was tyrannical. In addition, His physical body's cultivation level didn't drop. His skin and flesh became even tougher, and his blood energy became even more powerful. He was like a human-shaped barbaric dragon as he broke through the lightning. It was extremely shocking. In his current state, he would definitely be able to withstand even more powerful star power. At this moment, the dark demonic thunder orb had been moved into his divine court. With the power of the dark demonic thunder orb constantly tempering his soul, it could be used as an alternative soul protection method. Even if the soul of a god-level powerhouse were to intrude into his divine court, his dark demonic thunder orb would definitely be able to kill them in one blow. Yang Wu woke up and felt that he had walked through the gates of hell. That kind of feeling was really uncomfortable. At this moment, he raised his head and sensed that the divine electric fork had fallen into the thunderclouds. There was a boundless power of lightning there, and anyone who touched it would die. However, he had an impulse to fly up. Calm down, calm down. I can't be hot-headed. Otherwise I'll die. This impulse was an indescribable summoning power given to him by the divine electric fork. Moreover, the immortal immortality peach tree seemed to be urging him to ascend the thunderclouds. If you want to be my master, please ascend the thunderclouds. A sharp voice sounded in Yang Wu's mind. Master, go up. There's divine thunder liquid on the thunderclouds. It's a great divine liquid that my young body needs. It can also strengthen your immortal foundation. The immortal immortality peach tree urged. Yang Wu hesitated. The divine thunder was still there, and he was afraid that his small body wouldn't be able to withstand it. If you don't even dare to face this little bit of divine thunder, how will you summon tens of thousands of lightning and punish the common people in the future? The sharp voice sounded again. The immortal immortality peach tree also said, Master, my divine thunder liquid can help you come back from the dead. What are you afraid of? All right, that's what you said. Then I'll go up. Yang Wuying shouted, stomped his foot, and rushed up to the thundercloud above. The thunderclouds were halfway up the mountain and not at the peak. This didn't count as going against Little Hei's instructions. This was the reason why Yang Wu had gathered his courage and dared to take the risk. The closer he got to the thunderclouds, the more terrifying the pressure of the divine thunder became. He felt as if he was facing the god of thunder. If he dared to get any closer, he would definitely be killed. Yang Wu stared at the terrifying thunderclouds. His eyes were filled with determination. 2 pairs of wings grew out of his back. As he flapped them, the winged demon patterns released an extremely keen aura. A gust of dark wind blew, helping him to rush up. Wealth comes from danger. If I don't die, I will definitely be able to borrow the power of the thunderclouds to obtain an even more powerful body. Yang Wu shouted loudly. Bang! Yang Wu threw caution to the wind and crashed into the thunderclouds. He thought that what awaited him would be the power of the divine thunder liquid. Who would have thought that this was not the case? Instead, he felt as if he had plunged into a pile of cotton flowers. There was a soft feeling, and waves of numbness spread throughout his body. When he came back to his senses, he had already appeared above the thunderclouds. Huh? Where's the divine thunder? Yang Wu was extremely surprised. He looked around and saw the divine weapon electric trident standing in a pool of purple liquid. This purple liquid was unpredictable. Sometimes it was like lightning, sometimes it was like a dragon, and sometimes it was like a qilin. There were thousands of strange phenomena, and the divine thunder chi was astonishing. This is the divine thunder liquid? Yang Wu cried out involuntarily. The divine thunder liquid was a special liquid that contained a trace of top-grade lightning. It contained incomparably pure lightning power. Moreover, it also had miraculous effect. If a pregnant woman absorbed and refined a drop of the divine thunder liquid, she could create an innate lightning body fetus. This was a divine item that was priceless. Even the major forces would fight over it until their heads bled. It was rumored that there was a lightning pool in the purple firmament palace. Every 100 years, it could produce a few drops of divine thunder liquid. However, the grade of the divine thunder liquid was probably incomparable to the divine thunder liquid in front of him. Yang Wu's absorption became hurried. This pool of divine thunder liquid was as much as 5 cubes. It was enough for him to use it for a bath. If he collected all of it, he would definitely become one of the richest people in the transcendent world. Every drop of divine thunder liquid was worth 1,000,000 low-grade divine stones. How many drops of divine thunder liquid could be divided into 5 cubes? You didn't disappoint me. The divine weapon electric trident's voice rang out again. Following that, it said, "Next, you will undergo a test. As long as you can endure it, you will obtain a divine skill." What test? Yang Wu's eyelids twitched. You are not allowed to borrow the power of the immortal tree to refine the power of this divine thunder, the divine weapon electric trident replied. Its body trembled, and a bolt of divine thunder shot towards Yang Wu. The power of this divine thunder was not diluted. It was only 1 grade lower than the 4-colored divine thunder that had struck down earlier. However, it was still not something that a half-step into the heavenly ascension realm could withstand. Yang Wu had not reached that realm yet. How could he withstand it? Ah! Yang Wu screamed miserably. His body was on the verge of collapsing. His flesh and blood were charred, and his organs were severely injured. His divine courtyard was on the verge of collapse. His soul was in a state of collapse. He was on the verge of death. This time, the immortal peach tree did not help Yang Wu. It seemed to have reached a tacit agreement with the divine weapon electric trident. Under such circumstances, how could Yang Wu save himself? So painful. Am I going to die? Maybe I am really going to die. The immortal body did not react at all. I cannot withstand the power of this divine thunder. It is too scary. I did not get to see my parents again. I don't know if my brother is doing well. No, I still have people I care about. I cannot die, and I do not want to die. Even if the King of Hell wants to take me, I do not want to die. Refine the divine thunder. Yang Wu had an illusion of death. He had almost given up on living. Fortunately, his willpower was strong enough, and his survival instinct was strong enough. He used his last breath to circulate the Supreme 9 Mysteries formula, refining the power of the divine thunder into his dantian. The 9 thunder body tempering technique once again showed its power of tempering the body, urging the divine thunder to temper the body. This kind of tempering process, which was close to death, tested one's willpower even more. A 2nd-grade immortal liquid flew out from Yang Wu's Qinkuan space and was refined into his meridians and organs, nourishing his vitality once again. The wisp of immortal qi was also mobilized by the Supreme 9 Mysteries formula, restoring the vitality of his damaged body. Suddenly, his comprehension of the way of life and death appeared again, capturing the vitality of his body and branding it into the black and white lotus seat. The black and white lotus seat was formed by the fusion of the qi of death, the qi of the tomb of the gods, and his own vitality. It nurtured an astonishing qi. It was not completely perfected, with the black lotus petals as the main force. The white lotus petals were obviously inferior to the black ones. After he had captured the vigorous vitality, the white lotus petals grew and gradually showed signs of being on par with the black ones. Only when the two reached a balance could it be considered the true way of life and death. The power of vitality contained an indescribable principle. Yang Wu could not understand how this principle was created and how it existed. He could only slowly comprehend it from an outsider's point of view. It was a mighty force of the universe that seemed to have existed since the creation of the world. Where there was life, there was death, and where there was death, there was life. There was a fine line between life and death. As long as there was a fine line between life and death, one could possess infinite power. Yang Wu used his own fine line of vitality to instantly activate the vitality of his entire body. A vast amount of vitality exploded in every part of his body. His festering flesh quickly scabbed, his old skin shed, and new skin grew. It was a scene of a withered tree coming back to life. The black and white colors of the black and white lotus seat were finally equal. The two forces had reached a true balance. The principle of the way of life and death was clearly comprehended in his soul. The soul that was about to collapse rapidly reassembled, and it had an additional spirituality of vitality. It was like a flesh and blood clone, and its power was even greater than before. When Yang Wu's body was regenerated, the divine weapon electric fork actually struck with the power of divine thunder again. Tempered sacred body, it's time. Chapter 12:24. Even a top-notch holy weapon would have a weapon spirit. How could a divine weapon like the electric fork not have a weapon spirit? The weapon spirit of the divine fork was extremely powerful and had extraordinary wisdom. It recognized Yang Wu as its master, but it had always been hiding in Yang Wu's body. It hadn't given Yang Wu much help. Even if Yang Wu wanted to summon it to fight against the enemy, it would have to depend on whether it was willing or not. This time, after it came to the Thunder Mountain, it finally showed its wisdom. Little Hay didn't have time to train Yang Wu, so it let it do it. It needed Yang Wu to grow up as soon as possible so that it could master it and release its most powerful punishment power again. Yang Wu had just refined the power of the divine thunder when another one fell on his body. A new round of pain and a new round of tempering began. Yang Wu had comprehended the complete way of life and death, and understood the principle of life. As long as there was a trace of life, it could release endless life. Moreover, the life energy and the death energy were also transforming. The life energy was flowing away, the death energy was born, and the death energy had a trace of life energy that was difficult to detect. That life energy could be transformed into endless life energy. The premise was that this life energy could be activated and displayed a strong enough tenacity. Solitary Yin couldn't be born, solitary Yang couldn't grow. The death energy and the life energy existed side by side. There was life and there was death. They existed together, and neither could be missing. Yang Wu hadn't truly mastered the way of life and death, but his understanding of life and death had reached a new level. It had endless benefits for his healing. As long as he didn't die, he could use a trace of life energy to stimulate endless life energy and quickly recover from his injuries. This was a great benefit for him to perfect his immortal body. The destructive power of the divine thunder was terrifying. Yang Wu's soul and corporeal body were being tempered again and again. Every time, he felt like he was being fished out from the sea. He was on the verge of death, but he recovered very quickly. His soul and corporeal body were improving rapidly. While his soul and holy body were improving, Yang Wu's body emitted a shocking sound of thunder. It was as if his body had formed a world of thunder and lightning. Endless thunder and lightning kept exploding. His heavenly thunder bone emitted a dazzling light and was branded with astonishing thunder power. The mark of the electric fork talent became more and more dazzling. At the same time, a layer of inexplicable thunder lines appeared on his skin and flesh. This layer of thunder lines merged with his skin and flesh, opening up an even more mysterious talent. Perhaps it was a change caused by the Nine Thunders reshaping technique reaching a certain level. For the time being, Yang Wu didn't know. An indescribable divine skill, electric rosy dawn, appeared in his soul. His soul was constantly evolving, just like the first appearance of thunderclouds and the strange phenomenon of tens of thousands of lightning bolts. Its might was incomparably shocking. Yang Wu couldn't imagine how powerful this strike was. It was like the divine lightning that split the heaven and earth apart. For the first time, he had the thought that it was difficult to cultivate, and a trace of uncertainty appeared in his mind. Fortunately, this thought quickly disappeared. He could even withstand the power of the divine thunder. How could he not be able to learn a divine skill? His soul was receiving the tempering of the thunder power while deducing the cultivation method of this move. Yang Wu received a wonderful effect. His soul was electrocuted by the power of thunder and lightning, and he used the power of thunder and lightning to deduce the divine skill. Not only could he divert his attention to relieve the pain, but he could also borrow the power of thunder and lightning to temper his soul, making it more solid and valiant. If his soul came out of his body, people who didn't have the vision technique wouldn't be able to distinguish whether his soul was a physical body or a soul. This was the symbol of the soul becoming a fetus. The soul becoming a fetus meant that Yang Wu had the possibility of being reincarnated. Many martial arts cultivators became a fetus. After reaching a certain level, they would cultivate into a sacred fetus. The sacred fetus would greatly increase their lifespan, and they would be reincarnated to obtain a second chance at life. Golden prisoners were reincarnated existences. When the soul became a fetus and reincarnated, most of them would be able to carry the memories of their previous life. The speed of cultivation was incomparable. For those souls that didn't become a fetus, everything would be erased after reincarnation, and they wouldn't be able to awaken their memories. After reaching this step, Yang Wu could be considered to have taken an extremely important step. His soul was meditating to cultivate the electric rosy dawn. He didn't know how many times he had cultivated it, but he finally grasped a little bit of it with the help of the divine thunder. This move was definitely not as simple as an ordinary divine skill. Otherwise, it wouldn't be so difficult to learn. The divine weapon electric fork didn't shoot any more divine thunder at Yang Wu, and Yang Wu gradually woke up from his tempering. He opened his eyes, and like two bolts of lightning, they pierced through the sky. He looked at the sky and looked at the peak of the mountain. There was a sea of lightning there, and there seemed to be a ray of light that was different from the rest. It contained boundless power, and it changed into the appearance of various races. It also seemed like dragons and phoenixes were dancing, tigers and turtles were moving, and the scene was astonishing. Before Yang Wu could see clearly what kind of mysterious place it was, lightning flashed and stung Yang Wu's eyes. He was so scared that he quickly closed his eyes, and there were traces of blood overflowing from his eyes. He had just been tempered by the divine thunder, and his body was extremely strong. The ability of his eyes was not inferior to those who were born with different pupils, but he still couldn't withstand the flashing lightning. It could be seen that it contained a great terror. Yang Wu urged his qi to ease the pain in his eyes. After a long time, he was able to open them again. He said to himself, "What a terrifying place." Soon after, he began to sense the changes in his body, and was instantly pleasantly surprised. His skin, flesh, meridians, internal organs, and bones were all glowing with new life. They contained an incomparably astonishing vitality, and they had become as tough as divine weapons. Especially his meridians, they had become several times wider, and his acupoints were as vast and astonishing as the stars. His flesh and internal organs were flowing with boundless vitality, and the dense vitality was comparable to that of a deity. The changes in his bones were even more astonishing, and they were branded with the patterns of electric fork. They were filled with a mysterious feeling of supreme profoundness. His soul became the appearance of when he was 3 or 4 years old, and he had returned to his youth. It was incomparably miraculous, and it was suffused with an extraordinary divine aura, as if an immortal had descended to the mortal world. This was definitely an earth-shattering change, an astonishing change. This should be the second stage of the human body's potential being fully excavated. It feels like I've been reborn. With my current lifespan, even living past 10,000 years is a small matter. Living to 50,000 years is probably not my limit. Could this be the legendary divine body? No, it shouldn't be. It should be a great success divine body, a true divine body. The original divine body was only a small success divine body, and all the saints in the transcendent world, even the peak saints, only cultivate a small success divine body, or even a pseudo-divine body. But this is the true meaning of my physical body becoming a divine body, and I should have the magical ability to transform. Transform. In an instant, Yang Wu's body changed from 7 feet to 7 feet. He was 10 times taller, and he didn't feel the slightest bit uncomfortable. Instead, he felt that his strength was astonishing and his battle prowess was endless. Transform again. Yang Wu was endlessly excited. He once again mobilized the blood in his body, and his body propped up. 7 feet, 70 feet, 270 feet, 470 feet. After growing to 999 feet, Yang Wu felt the strain. If he continued to grow, he was afraid that it would affect him, so he had no choice but to stabilize his body. At this moment, he felt that he had become a powerful giant. His whole body was surrounded by lightning, his blood was astonishing, and his battle intent was soaring to the heavens. He could pick the stars and the moon with his bare hands, and he could step into the 9 Serenities underworld with just a lift of his foot. It was really difficult to express his feelings at this moment with word. Haha, this is a great success divine body. Even an ordinary divine body wouldn't be as powerful as mine. Yang Wu laughed wildly. His voice was like a clap of thunder, shocking all the creatures below. The half-step divine master below the thunderclouds looked up and saw a giant standing between the sky and the earth. That mighty aura scared him witless. Divine body! He was only a half-step divine master, and there was still a long way to go before he could truly reach the divine master realm. The transformation magical ability couldn't be done without reaching the divine master realm. The giant figure in front of him was definitely a transformation of a true divine master. He couldn't see who it was, so he turned around and ran down the Thunder Mountain. He was afraid that if he was any slower, he would be discovered and killed. Yang Wu finally understood the principle that little He had mentioned: there is always someone better than you. He was only at the 5th level of the celestial pattern realm, and he could already cultivate such a divine body. The geniuses of other realms could also do the same. He just didn't know if there was anyone in the transcendent realm who could have a great success divine body like him. Yang Wu looked around. This time, he didn't dare to look up. Instead, he looked down and took in the scenery below the Thunder Mountain. In the east, there was a heavenly thunder sacred tree. There were purple fruits, lightning vines, and purple moonflowers hanging on the tree. In the south, there was a thunder calamity fire ravine, where many of the remaining lightning flames were gathered. There were also some thunder fire essence stones in the lightning flames. In the west, there was a barren land. There were no trees or flowers growing, but there were protruding stones that contained thunder patterns. In the north, there was a cliff of the Thunder Mountain behind him, which blocked his view. If you don't take the Thunder Divine Liquid, it will be taken back. The Divine Electric Fork's voice rang out. Master, quickly take the Thunder Divine Liquid. I need half of it, the immortal peach tree said. Yang Wu was shocked. He quickly shrank his body and landed beside the Thunder Divine Liquid. It was in the middle of the thunder clouds, and the clouds were used as vessels to flow on it. It was quite magical. How should I take it? Yang Wu was a little lost. He didn't have such a big jade artifact space, so it would be difficult to store the Thunder Divine Liquid. Ordinary Qian Kuan spaces couldn't store it at all. It would cause its divine energy to dissipate. Even if he had a living Qian Kuan shell, he wouldn't be able to store it. Take the thunder clouds as well, the Divine Electric Fork said. You can take the thunder clouds too? Yang Wu was shocked. Thunder clouds were objects of heaven and earth. They were incomparably huge. How could he store them? Even if he could store them, what was the point of keeping them? These thunder clouds are a means of transportation that I left behind for you. Heavenly gods and high immortals use them as means of transportation. You're actually looking down on them? The divine electric fork said with disdain. Then, he said, use your soul to make the thunderclouds recognize you as its master. Then, you can use the cloud riding technique. That works too? Chapter 12:25. Clouds were one of the forces formed by the Xian-Qi of heaven and earth. It was the easiest force to disperse. Most of it was formed by water vapor. Clouds would disperse and rain would fall. The thundercloud in front of him had formed a part of heaven and earth, and it even contained the thunder god's elixir. It was not an ordinary cloud, but a thunder tribulation cloud. Under the thunder tribulation, it was still intact. It had gathered a large amount of energy to be able to contain the thunder god's elixir. This was the first time Yang Wu heard that thunderclouds could be used as a means of transportation. If Little Hay was here, he would definitely ask Little Hay if it was like this. Now, Little Hay had already reached the peak of the Thunder Mountain. He did not know who to ask, but he chose to believe the words of the divine weapon electric fork. If it could really control the thunderclouds, it would be an incomparably wonderful thing. If it was just bluffing him, there should not be any losses. Thus, Yang Wu injected his spiritual power into the thunderclouds, trying to find a way to connect with the thundercloud. When his spiritual power was injected into the thunderclouds, the power of thunder and lightning followed his spiritual power and directly entered his soul. It almost exploded his soul. Fortunately, he had already formed a soul embryo, which was comparable to a real physical body. Moreover, he had been tempered by the power of the divine thunder before, so the power of thunder and lightning was still within his limits. Otherwise, he would have been dead. Yang Wu had no choice but to use the power of thunder and lightning to temper his soul again. After his soul recovered a little, he could not help but say to the divine weapon electric fork, "Are you trying to kill me? If you can't even withstand the power of the thunderclouds, how can you gain the approval of the thunderclouds?" The divine weapon electric fork sneered. Yang Wu's temper rose. He shouted, "I don't believe that I can't control it. Come." Yang Wu's spiritual power once again entered the thunderclouds and was attacked by the power of thunder and lightning again. This time, Yang Wu learned his lesson. He did not hesitate to absorb a strand of the thunder god's elixir. The power of thunder and lightning was filled with the power of destruction, and the thunder god elixir was a thread of life within this power of destruction. Refining it could restore one's life force. When the thunder god's elixir entered his stomach, Yang Wu's entire body became intoxicated. A vigorous life force spread throughout his body. Most of it was channeled into the god's court to recover his soul. Some of it was absorbed by the immortal peach tree. After Yang Wu absorbed the thunder god liquid, the power in his dantian surged. His earth sea expanded once more, and another star line appeared between his soul and dantian. This was the sixth star line, and each star line was like a rainbow bridge. It was unknown how many times larger they were than before. This was the change that had occurred after Yang Wu had made a breakthrough to the great success Holy Physique. The thicker the star lines, the greater the power of the stars. Each of Yang Wu's star lines was thicker than a pinnacle saint's. The power they could withstand was terrifying. Yang Wu had silently made a breakthrough to the 6th level of the Star Rune Realm. Even he did not expect this. He had just reached the 5th level of the Star Rune Realm in the Saint Transformation Pool. Less than 3 months had passed, yet he had advanced by another level. If this news were to spread, many creatures would be jealous. After reaching the Star Rune Realm, one would need to accumulate a huge amount of power in order to advance by one level. It would take at least a few decades or at most a few hundred years to make a breakthrough by one level. Even a top-notch genius would need an opportunity to accelerate his breakthrough. Yang Wu's breakthrough speed could be said to be abnormal. Yang Wu was not surprised. He had been tormented by waves of divine thunder for nearly 2 months and had achieved the great sage physique. It would not be a problem for him to directly break through to the pinnacle saint. His foundation was stronger than ever. He had broken through the limits of the human body and achieved an extraordinary foundation of the holy physique. After Yang Wu had broken through to the 6th level of the Star Rune realm, Yang Wu's soul had once again grown a lot stronger. The power of the divine thunder had been compressed. After a few days of tempering, he could finally completely withstand the power of the thunder and lightning in the thundercloud. His mental power enveloped the thundercloud like a net. He instantly discovered a trace of hazy consciousness in the thundercloud, which was its core. Does the cloud also have spiritual wisdom? Yang Wu couldn't help but wonder. He did not think too much about it. He poured his mental power into the thundercloud's consciousness and replaced its will. The thundercloud became his personal possession. When his mental power entered the thundercloud, he discovered that the thundercloud was formed by the power of countless divine thunder intertwined. It also contained a large amount of water and other material energy that formed the thundercloud. Try to control it, Yang Wu muttered to himself. Then, he shouted, "Let's go!" The thundercloud surged and brought him up into the sky. Haha, it can really be used as a means of transportation. Fly to the left. Not bad, not bad. Fly to the right. Back off. At the bottom of the Thunder Mountain, many martial cultivators who were cultivating near the Thunder Mountain panicked when they saw the thundercloud flying around. The thundercloud is flying towards us. There will definitely be divine thunder striking down. Run quickly. Could it be that a demonic saint is undergoing a tribulation? Why do I feel that it's very scary? Not long ago, there was a terrifying divine thunder. Could it be that it's coming again? Quickly leave this place. Hey, why is it flying away? It looks so strange. It's up and down. Is this a fake thundercloud? Yang Wu, who was sitting cross-legged on the Thunder Mountain, could sense the situation below. His face outlined with joy. This feeling is really refreshing. Yang Wu did not show off too much. He quickly controlled the thundercloud to fly in the direction of the sacred thunder tree. The sacred thunder tree had sacred thunder fruit. There were many thunder beasts guarding it. There were also many lightning vines, purple moonflowers, and other sacred medicines nearby. Yang Wu jumped down from the thundercloud. A powerful thunder beast attacked him. The thunder beasts here were very powerful. They were at the peak of the Saint realm. Even a half-step to the heaven-reaching realm would not dare to approach here. They could mobilize a large amount of lightning power to kill enemies. Moreover, there were many thunder beasts. The overbearing lightning power blasted toward Yang Wu. Yang Wu opened his mouth and directly swallowed the lightning power into his abdomen. He smiled and said, "Big guy, don't ask for a rebuff. Otherwise, I don't mind teaching you how to write the word death." The thunder beast was very ferocious. Whoever dared to approach its territory, it would not rest until it was dead. How could it be dismissed by Yang Wu with just a few words? It roared and mobilized a large amount of lightning power to continue attacking Yang Wu. If it was the Yang Wu before, the lightning power would indeed hurt him. But now, it was difficult for the lightning power to hurt him. Yang Wu ignored the lightning power. He flicked his finger, and a thick lightning beam shot at the thunder beast. The thunder beast was shot several miles away, and it was heavily injured. It could not get up. The other thunder beasts rushed up one after another. They did not know how to write the word death at all. They were kicked away by Yang Wu. Now, killing Saint Realm creatures was as easy as killing chickens and dogs for him. When he slapped several more thunder beasts to death, he found beast cores from the thunder beasts. Each beast core contained powerful lightning power. It was a great material for refining thunder attribute pills. Therefore, Yang Wu went on a killing spree. He slapped all the thunder beasts in the vicinity to death and collected a lot of beast cores. After Yang Wu killed all the thunder beasts in the vicinity, he began to plunder the nearby thunder beasts. The heavenly thunder beasts are not inferior to the divine slaughter fruit I obtained. Especially this tree, it's even better. I'll take them all home. Hey, this lightning vine is actually a Sciention warrior weapon. Its power is not inferior to my phoenix feather fan. This is a great harvest. The purple moonflower is a sacred flower that increases the power of thunder. This one has probably grown for more than 5,000 years. Its medicinal properties are extraordinary. Yang Wu was simply plucking feathers from the wild goose. Wherever he went, he collected all the sacred items, regardless of whether they were sacred items or not. His mother could plant a herb garden. If he took these back, he would definitely be able to plant more amazing sacred herbs. Moreover, he was also a saint alchemist. Naturally, he wouldn't miss out on these herbs. After collecting these items, Yang Wu rushed to the Thunder Tribulation Fire Ditch in the south. The Thunder Tribulation Fire Ditch broke through the mountain. It contained a large amount of thunder fire power, which was perfect for Blue Demoness to devour. Yang Wu sat down and released Blue Demoness. He controlled it to devour the thunder fire power here. Yang Wu's body had just evolved. Blue Demoness talent was condensed from his blood and sweat. Once it devoured the thunder fire, it would definitely become more powerful. The thunder fire here had been nurtured for countless years. It was not inferior to any top sacred fire. It had already produced a fire spirit. A thunder fire dragon rushed out of the ditch and fought fiercely with Blue Demoness. Blue Demoness sometimes turned into a black tortoise and sometimes a phoenix. It fought crazily with the thunder fire dragon. The two types of firepower were evenly matched. If it were anywhere else, the land would have been turned into a sea of fire by their raging firepower. This was the Thunder Mountains. The mountain was extremely sturdy. Even a god weapon might not be able to cause much damage here. Their little bit of commotion wouldn't cause too much of a disturbance to the Thunder Mountains. Yang Wu didn't think that Blue Demoness could devour all the power in the Thunder Tribulation Fire Ditch unless he had a long time to waste here. He only needed to refine the Thunder Fire Dragon spirit in front of him. This was the fire seed of the Thunder Tribulation Fire Ditch. It was the essence of the power. If Blue Demoness devoured it, it should be able to rank up to a godly fire. The Thunder Fire Dragon had the power of the Thunder Tribulation Fire Ditch. It wouldn't be easy for Blue Demoness to win. Yang Wu had to cut off the connection between the Thunder Fire Dragon and the Thunder Tribulation Fire Ditch to stop it from absorbing more power to fight Blue Demoness. Blue Demoness was indeed a top fire seed. Few fire seeds in the same realm were its match. After Yang Wu cut off the connection between the Thunder Fire Dragon and the Thunder Tribulation Fire Ditch, it could only be devoured by Blue Demoness. After 7 days and 7 nights of fighting, Blue Demoness finally devoured the Thunder Fire Dragon. Yang Wu recalled it without hesitation. When Lan Jiaoji returned to where Yang Wu's heart was, he instantly turned into a flaming man. A large amount of fire spread in all directions, forming a sea of fire. Crackle. Chapter 12:26. Blue Demoness evolved into a divine fire, and a large amount of firepower was emitted from Yang Wu. Once Yang Wu couldn't withstand the terrifying firepower, he would be turned into ashes. Yang Wu could have let Blue Demoness evolve outside his body, but he didn't do so. He still absorbed it into his heart and let it evolve. That way, he would gain great benefits. Fortunately, Yang Wu had become a supreme saint, and his vitality was strong. Even if he was burned by the firepower, he could still withstand it. Path of life and death. Yang Wu comprehended the great Tao again, and used it to deepen his use of this great Tao. Divine fire and divine thunder were on the same level, and the divine fire that leaked out was no weaker than divine thunder. Half of Yang Wu's body was burned. The burning pain made him want to die, but Yang Wu gritted his teeth and endured it. He used the power of the divine fire to temper his body again. Moreover, He also refined a drop of divine thunder liquid to protect his soul and heart. He didn't want to make any mistakes at the crucial moment. Once his vitality was extinguished, he would die no matter how strong his great Tao was. After being burned by the divine fire, a terrifying thought appeared in Yang Wu's mind. If my physical body is like my dantian and can contain limitless power, wouldn't that be equivalent to opening up a second place to absorb power? The dantian was the place for all martial artists to absorb qi. If the dantian was destroyed, the martial artist would be like a cripple, and he wouldn't be able to cultivate anymore. Yang Wu's dantian was replaced by the immortal peach core, and finally, the immortal peach tree was planted. Once the immortal peach tree was moved out of his body, the peach core would be brought out as well. At that time, he would lose his dantian, and even a divine pill wouldn't be able to help him condense his dantian. The place that was occupied by a divine object could only be replaced by a higher-grade divine object. Yang Wu had been thinking about how to solve the problem of the dantian, which was why he had such a crazy idea now. However, he soon knew that this idea wouldn't work. After all, the physical body was very different from the dantian. The physical body also contained 8 extraordinary meridians, many acupoints, and internal organs. How could he turn it into a dantian? Unless he created a new cultivation system, how could he have such ability? Even the mighty beings of the heaven-reaching realm did not have such an ability. Perhaps it was only possible when one reached the level of immortals. Yang Wu did not give up on finding a solution. He looked inside his body to see where he could refine more power. In the end, he was completely disappointed. The inner world was intricate and complicated. It was a small world of the human body. It was too difficult for him to create another dantian. Right, now that my soul has become a soul fetus, it has the ability to regenerate. Perhaps I can continue to strengthen it and condense a real body of flesh and blood. Even if something happens to my body in the future, I can still live on. He had seen the true doppelganger technique from the evil child. It was a doppelganger with flesh and blood as well as a soul. Perhaps it was a way out for him. Unknowingly, Yang Wu had withstood the burning of the overflowing divine fire. His saint body had recovered, and now he was just waiting for Lan Xiaoji to advance. This time, Lan Xiaoji would not advance so quickly. It would take some time for it to transform into a divine fire. After it advanced, Yang Wu could still get benefits from it. Yang Wu stood up and collected the Thunder Fire Essence Stone and the Dark Thunder Stone. These were all rare saint materials. Among them, Yang Wu also found a godly thunderstone in the Thunder Trial Fire Ditch. He collected it. The godly thunderstone was a real divine material. It was the best material to make a godly thunder soldier. It was extremely valuable. I have the godly thunder fork. I don't need to make a godly thunder soldier for now. I can give it to you in the future. Yang Wu collected the godly thunder stone happily. He did not leave immediately. He continued to observe in the Thunder Trial Fire Ditch. He wanted to see if there were any more floating godly thunderstones so that he could take some back. The power of thunder and lightning here was very strong. Even a half-reaching Heaven Realm warrior would find it hard to get close. Yang Wu could not stay here for long without cultivating a saint body. Yang Wu waited for 3 days. He collected 7 godly thunder stones of different sizes and left. He went to the west, where there was a barren area with heavenly thunderstones. Heavenly thunderstones were not as good as godly thunderstones, but they were still rare saint stones. If he could take some back, it would be a windfall. Heavenly thunderstones were very hard. Ordinary godly weapons could not break them. Yang Wu had a godly weapon. He used the godly thunder fork to break the heavenly thunderstones. The godly thunder fork was very dissatisfied. I am an immortal weapon. How can I be used to dig stones? What a poor master! Yang Wu ignored the godly thunder fork's complaint. He collected almost half of the heavenly thunder stones on the mountaintop before he left with satisfaction. He had gained a lot from this trip to the Thunder Mountains. I wonder how little Silver is doing down there. Maybe I should let him come here to train. When I teach him the 9 lightning body tempering technique, I believe that he will be able to cultivate an even stronger demonic body, Yang Wu thought to himself. Then Yang Wu shouted with his divine will, "Thunder tribulation cloud, come!" In the next instant, the thunder cloud above his head shrunk quickly and flew toward him. His willpower had already replaced the thunder tribulation cloud's consciousness. He could control it completely. It could change its size, and it entered his universal space. With the thunder tribulation cloud, flying shuttles and war chariots are nothing, Yang Wu said with a satisfied smile. Master, I need half of the thunder god liquid, the immortal immortality peach tree said longingly. Yang Wu's face twitched. Half is too much. I still have other uses for it. The thunder god liquid was very useful. It would be very useful for him to concoct divine pills in the future. The immortal immortality peach tree wanted half of it. Master, don't worry. After refining this thunder god liquid, I will be able to condense even more celestial liquid, the immortal immortality peach tree replied. Yang Wu hesitated for a moment, then quickly smiled and said, "What's the big deal about lightning god liquid? This master will give it to you. As for immortal liquids, you can just take out some. This master's requirements aren't high, just double the amount and return it." The immortal immortality peach tree said, "Master's request is too high. I can't do it. The thunder god liquid is only a low-grade divine liquid. I can't even condense 1 drop of celestial liquid after absorbing 10 drops of it." "Oh, okay. Then you can condense as much as you want." "Thank you, Master." "How can you condense more celestial liquid? I need a large amount of energy to devour. It would be best if it is the origin energy. Divine stones, divine springs, or celestial chi can help me grow. When I grow, I will expel celestial liquid." Expel celestial liquid? What does that mean? It means that the sweat that comes out of my body is celestial liquid. Yang Wu felt like he had asked an extremely stupid question. Yang Wu had always treated celestial liquid as a priceless item that could bring the dead back to life. Who would have thought that celestial liquid was the sweat that came out of the immortality peach tree? He felt as if the celestial liquid had fallen by countless levels. "Master, don't you like my sweat? I am a natural-born immortality peach tree. Even a bit of my bark can bring any living being back to life. Wait until I bear celestial fruit. 1 celestial fruit can grant 1 immortality. There are many immortals who want to eat it but can't." The immortality peach tree felt Yang Wu's mood and said with dissatisfaction. Yang Wu's mood improved a lot after hearing the immortality peach tree's words. He looked at the immortality peach tree and said, "Let's make a deal. Give me a leaf to try. Let's see if it can really grant immortality." The immortality peach tree swayed and celestial light flashed. It said weakly, "I am still a child." Yang Wu did not continue to argue with the immortality peach tree. He gave it the 2 cubes of thunder divine liquid. The immortality peach tree absorbed the 2 cubes of thunder divine liquid and grew a lot taller. It also had a few more branches and leaves. Every leaf had a drop of celestial liquid. The dense celestial air floated and merged with the celestial air next to it. This celestial air was very special. Yang Wu had always thought that it was left behind by the immortality peach tree. However, the immortality peach tree said that it was the celestial root. It was not created by the immortality peach tree. It was something that Yang Wu already had. Yang Wu asked the divine weapon electric fork. The divine weapon electric fork said, "The celestial root means that you have the potential to become an immortal. It is something that you are born with. It is a pity that you do not know how to use the celestial root. Once you become a god, you will understand how important the celestial root is." The divine weapon electric fork seemed to know a lot. Unfortunately, it was not little Hay. It did not explain anything to Yang Wu. The divine weapon electric fork thought that Yang Wu was still weak. It did not like him as its master. Just you wait. With my cultivation speed, it will not be long before I make you submit to me, Yang Wu thought to himself. Yang Wu walked down the Thunder Mountain. On the way, he picked some Thunder-type herbs. This time, he was more restrained. He did not take advantage of them. He only picked a few that were appropriate. These herbs were of low levels. He did not want them. Before he could find the silver-patterned turtle, he suddenly heard the silver-patterned turtle roar. It was as if it had been hurt. Yang Wu used his divine will to scan the area. The Thunder Mountain's thunder-lightning region could not block his senses. Soon, he sensed that someone had attacked the silver-patterned turtle. "How dare you touch my mount? You must have a death wish," Yang Wu mumbled. Then, his body disappeared. In another direction, the silver-patterned turtle was being stepped on by another person. No matter how it struggled, it could not do anything. One of Yang Wu's mounts has become a demon saint. Its speed of improvement is really fast. If it is allowed to continue growing, it will be difficult to suppress it in the future. It is definitely not a good thing for my purple firmament palace. It must be eliminated as soon as possible. The person stepping on the silver-patterned turtle was the half-step heaven ascension expert. He was an expert from the purple firmament palace. His name was Zhou Aotian, and he was known as the Proud Heaven Sword. Before Zhou Aotian reached the half-step heaven ascension level, he was an extremely proud genius. In the transcendental world, he had killed his way to becoming the Proud Heaven Sword. The battle that made him famous was when he killed 6 pinnacle saints with the strength of a 7th-level astral-patterned realm. He displayed the terrifying combat strength of the Purple Firmament Palace's Way of Thunder. When he reached the pinnacle saint realm, he gradually faded from the public eye. He had been preparing to break through to the Heaven Ascension realm. Who would have thought that he would come out this time to kill a junior? If this news were to spread, Yang Wu would be in the limelight. Let go of my mount or die. Chapter 12:27. Yang Wu appeared in front of Zhou Aotian with a murderous look on his face. It was as if he would make Zhou Aotian regret being born into this world, as long as the silver-striped turtle suffered any damage. Zhou Aotian looked at Yang Wu, who had suddenly appeared in front of him. A trace of surprise flashed across his face. His divine sense could not cover a very far distance in the Thunder Mountains. However, if someone approached him, he would be able to sense it immediately. Who would have thought that Yang Wu would appear in front of him without him noticing? He could not help but suspect that Yang Wu had some sort of method to hide himself. "Haha, I've been searching high and low for you. I've finally found you, Saint Master Yang Wu." Zhou Aotian laughed wildly. "Release my mount first, then we can have a good chat," Yang Wu said. "It's just a demon turtle. I can stomp it to death like an ant. Since you care so much about it, I'll kill it first and make you feel a bit of heartache." Zhou Aotian sneered. The strength of his feet increased, causing the silver-striped turtle's back to crack. It was almost enough to take its life. "You're courting death," Yang Wu shouted angrily. A bolt of lightning shot out from his finger. This finger was like a lightning flood dragon rushing out. It carried an extremely terrifying Tao of destruction as it shot towards Zhou Aotian. Zhou Aotian looked at the finger light that suddenly shot towards him. He felt an unprecedented threat. He only had one thought in his mind: dodge. He was a dignified half-step into the heavenly ascension realm. Yet, he did not dare to take this finger attack from Yang Wu. It was enough to see how big of a threat Yang Wu's finger attack was. Zhou Aotian used his fastest speed to dodge Yang Wu's finger attack. This finger light drew a shocking arc and shot towards the Thunder Mountains. It opened up a sizable finger hole in the hard mountain, causing many rocks to fly in all directions. The Thunder Mountains were hard. Ordinary saints would not be able to damage the ground and stones here. However, Yang Wu's finger attack opened up a finger hole. Zhou Outyin watched with fear. He thought to himself, this Yang Wu's strength is indeed extraordinary. I must quickly kill him. Yang Wu took advantage of the moment when Zhou Outyin dodged his finger attack to save the silver-striped turtle. He fed it a second-grade immortal liquid, causing its injuries to quickly recover. Master has embarrassed you, the silver-striped turtle said with guilt. His realm is much higher than yours. It's normal for you to not be his opponent. Just stand by and watch how I torture him. Yang Wu comforted the silver-striped turtle. You sure talk big. Even if you have the title of being invincible, in my eyes, it's nothing. Obediently submit. I will give face to the saintess and leave your corpse intact. Zhou Outyin stood with his hands behind his back. I haven't even gone to the Purple Firmament Hall, but you came knocking on my door. I just don't understand why you don't think highly of me, Yang Wu. With my abilities, it's not considered a disgrace to the Purple Firmament Hall's reputation. Yang Wu was puzzled. If it had been a few years ago, when he had just arrived in the transcendental world, the Purple Firmament Hall would have tried their best to stop him. However, with his current achievements, he could be matched with any saintess from any giant faction. He didn't understand why the Purple Firmament Hall wanted to stop him. Was it just because he had killed a few disciples of the Purple Firmament Hall? Zhou Outyin replied, in the transcendental world, you are indeed one of the most outstanding people of the younger generation. You have become a saint at such a young age, and you are also a saint alchemist. Even if the Yang family is not as powerful as the Purple Firmament Hall, it is still a famous family. If you liked any other woman from the Purple Firmament Hall, I believe us old men would have no reason to stop you. Unfortunately, you have taken a fancy to that girl, Yu. You are overestimating yourself. Why do you say that? It hasn't even been half a year, and I have already stepped into the mid-level saint realm. Give me another 100 years, and I will enter the Jade Moon realm and become an almighty being. Is that not enough for the Purple Firmament Hall to value me? Yang Wu continued to ask. He wanted to know why the Purple Firmament Hall wanted to stop him from being with Yu. Zhou Outyin laughed. That's right. With your abilities, you are definitely one of the best in the younger generation of the transcendental world. Even the successors of our Purple Firmament Hall, as well as the geniuses hidden by the other factions, are not inferior to them. In some aspects you are even better than them. However, your vision is still too small. There is always someone better than you. That girl, Yu, was born with thunder skin and jade body. Not only is she the saintess of our Purple Firmament Hall, she will also become a goddess. You and her are destined to be people of two different worlds, and will never be together. In order to prevent any unforeseen events, we have to get rid of you. He paused for a moment, then said, if you are willing to take me as your master and erase your memories of Yu, completely severing your relationship with her, you might still have a chance to live. Zhou Outyin's idea was really good. Yang Wu's reputation was out there. If he took Yang Wu as his disciple, he would also be proud. Furthermore, the Purple Firmament Hall would gain another top-level Saint Alchemist. It was a good thing that had the best of both worlds. There is always someone better than you. I will also say this to the Purple Firmament Hall. You can't stop me from marrying Yu, Yang Wu said with absolute certainty. That's a pity. Zhou Outyin sighed softly and suddenly made his move. A large purple palm angrily slammed towards Yang Wu's head. The palm print that covered the sky was shockingly powerful. It could kill any top-level Saint Realm creature. If it was the Yang Wu before he had a great saint body, he would probably have to take out a divine weapon to kill his opponent in one fell swoop. However, there was no need for that now. Yang Wu also raised his palm and directly blocked Zhou Outyin's palm. He sneered and said, "Is that all you have?" Zhou Outyin's eyelids twitched and his aura soared. The power of thunder and lightning around him was condensed by him. He shouted, "I don't believe that you really have the strength to challenge me. Purple Cry's sacred heavenly palm. The power of thunder and lightning condensed into a purple sacred bird. It carried the torrential power of thunder and lightning and once again slammed down towards Yang Wu in the air. Break! Yang Wu flicked his finger, and the lightning finger appeared again. It directly collided with the palm power and exploded. At the same time, Yang Wu rushed towards Zhou Aotian. His speed was shockingly fast. Like a flash of lightning, he appeared next to Zhou Aotian and pointed his finger at him again. The distance between the two was very close. The finger was infinitely enlarged and directly suppressed Zhou Aotian. Zhou Aotian had the strength of a half-step Tongtian. His reaction was shocking. However, in the face of Yang Wu's powerful attack, he was still frightened. So fast. He raised his palm to block. The thunder in his palm floated. Not only was he going to block Yang Wu's finger, but he was also going to counterattack Yang Wu. Bang! As the fingers and palms intersected, a muffled sound was heard, followed by a scream as a figure was sent flying. Taking a closer look, the person who had been sent flying was Zhou Aotian, who was half a step into the heavens' arrival realm. There was a bloody hole in his palm, and blood was gushing out. The power of lightning was still flowing around the wound, destroying it. His palm was almost crippled. Yang Wu chased after Zhou Aotian like a tiger. He once again shot out a finger, directly aiming for Zhou Aotian's forehead. Yang Wu's battle prowess had already reached an extremely terrifying level. Even he himself was not clear about his own limit. However, he at least knew that it should not be difficult to deal with a half-step Tongtian. Before he had cultivated the body of a great sage, he already had the ability to battle a half-step Tongtian. Now that his strength had multiplied by who knew how many times, killing a half-step Tongtian should be possible. This finger was like a bolt of lightning controlled by Yang Wu. It was everywhere, and its power was shocking. It had the ability to blow away all obstacles. Block for me. Zhou Aotian was shocked. He did not hesitate to draw his proud heaven sword. He slashed out a shocking sword ray, wanting to break this lightning finger. The power of a half-step Tongtian realm could borrow the power of a star. One sword could shatter a star. Break! Yang Wu continued to shout. He increased the power of the finger ray. The lightning finger became even thicker, shattering that sword ray inch by inch. Zhou Aotian was scared out of his wits. He threw out another item. It was the purple lizard shield. It was a defensive shield for a half-step Tongtian realm expert. It was refined from the lizard armor of a half-step Yao god. After the lightning finger came into contact with the purple lizard shield, it was finally blocked. However, Zhou Aotian was forced back hundreds of meters by the shockwave. The purple lizard shield almost slipped out of his hand. You! How can you be so strong? Zhou Aotian gasped for breath. He thought that with his half-step Tongtian realm strength, killing Yang Wu would be as easy as killing a chicken. Even if Yang Wu had a divine weapon, there was nothing to be afraid of. But now, Yang Wu did not even use a divine weapon, and he was beaten to a pulp. He really could not understand how Yang Wu's battle power had increased so quickly. It had only been a little more than a year since the end of the battle between the dragons and the phoenixes. Now that you know how strong I am, do you think I have the right to marry you? Yang Wu asked again. We have indeed underestimated your potential. Unfortunately, you still do not have enough time to grow. You are destined to only be a Yuyue Almighty expert. You will not be able to transcend. You are not someone our purple firmament palace needs. Zhou Aotian nodded. He raised the proud sky sword in his hand. A purple thunder dragon rose behind him. The power of thunder and lightning gathered towards him. The invisible power of the stars also surged. The sword chi was like a star slashing towards Yang Wu. Purple dragon star. This was a divine skill. It had infinite power. If they were not in the Thunder Mountains, this sword could destroy 100 miles of land. I don't care what kind of person your purple firmament palace needs. Yu is my wife. None of you can stop us from being together. Yang Wu roared angrily. Another lightning finger shot out. The power contained in this finger was even more terrifying than the previous two. It was like a purple star had fallen onto his fingertip. The purple star's power was even more terrifying than the star power Zhou Aotian had attracted. When the finger shot out, it was like the stars were rotating. Thunder exploded. Boom, boom, boom. The power of the two stars crazily clashed. A series of thunder and fire sputtered in all directions. Waves of purple air rippled out. It was difficult to calm down for a long time. Puff! A figure flew backward in a sorry state, and blood spurted out all over the sky. It was Zhou Aotian. Half of his body had exploded, and he was seriously injured. His eyes were filled with disbelief as he said, I actually lost. When he wanted to escape, a palm came down from the sky and suppressed him. Chapter 12:28. Zhou Aotian was half-step to heaven ascension, so he might not lose to an ordinary heaven ascension old monster. However, in front of a youth who was only at the 6th level of the celestial rune realm, he was beaten to the point where he couldn't fight back at all. This was the fastest and most miserable battle he had ever lost in his life. He wondered if he was dreaming. How could there be such a powerful saint at the 6th level of the celestial rune realm in this world? Could it be that this brat is from that world? Zhou Aotian thought to himself. Zhou Aotian's saint body had been severely injured. Even if he wanted to escape, it was too late. Yang Wu's foot stepped on him like a huge mountain. He couldn't breathe at all. Puppet control technique. Yang Wu didn't hesitate to use a secret technique to control puppets. He wanted to control Zhou Aotian and make him his living puppet. A half-step to heaven ascension expert could already do a lot of things for him. This was also the reason why he couldn't bear to kill Zhou Aotian. When Yang Wu's soul power entered Zhou Aotian's divine court, Zhou Aotian was shocked. You want to enslave me? Then he said, Haha, you came at the right time. I can devour your soul and refine you into my slave. Zhou Aotian was very confident in his soul. His soul had already cultivated divinity, which was the legendary divine soul. As long as he accumulated enough power, he could continuously break through and reach the Jade Moon realm. He originally thought that he would be killed by Yang Wu. Who knew that Yang Wu's soul power would enter his divine court? He could devour Yang Wu's soul and turn Yang Wu into a slave. Who knew that Yang Wu wasn't just strong physically, but his soul was also much stronger than his. In just 2 or 3 moves, his divine soul was utterly defeated. Your soul has also reached the divine realm? You only realized it now. Don't you think it's funny? No, it's definitely not as simple as the divine realm. It's a divine fetus. Be obedient and be my servant. Puppetry mainly relied on mental power, and as long as a rune was branded in the soul, one could control living beings. Yang Wu's strength completely crushed Zhou Aotian's, and he had no room to resist at all. Zhou Aotian was successfully controlled by Yang Wu. Hurry up and heal your wounds. When Yang Wu controlled a half-step heaven-span expert, his soul was also somewhat exhausted, but it was still within the limits of what he could bear. His soul was now so powerful that even an ordinary godly expert might not be able to compare to it. This was the soul that had been tempered by the divine thunder. This was also related to the Soul Control Heart Sutra. Yes, Master. After being controlled by Yang Wu, Zhou Aotian obediently replied. He definitely couldn't have the slightest thought of going against Yang Wu. Yang Wu could capture it clearly. Moreover, puppetry was incomparably profound. Those branded runes contained Yang Wu's soul consciousness, and could affect Zhou Aotian's loyalty. It wouldn't be long before Zhou Aotian completely became Yang Wu's most loyal servant. Zhou Aotian's recovery speed was very fast. He drew in a large amount of astral energy and the nearby lightning energy into his body, and his injuries rapidly healed. After reaching the star pattern realm, one's life would be refined, and their recovery speed would be very fast. This was especially so for experts like Zhou Aotian. There was no need to say anything about it. When Zhou Aotian was recovering, the silver-patterned tortoise had also completely recovered. Little Silver, I will pass on the 9 Thunders body tempering technique to you, Yang Wu said, and a piece of information flew out from between his eyebrows and directly entered the silver-patterned tortoise's mind. He then said, your improvement speed is already not slow, but your physical body is not strong enough. You need to borrow the power of lightning to temper your physical body. Yes, master, the silver-patterned tortoise replied. Actually, I should have passed on the 9 Thunders body tempering technique to you long ago. Fortunately, it's not too late now. After you reach the Demon Saint realm, the Holy Tribulation will be even more terrifying, and it will be more beneficial for you to temper yourself, Yang Wu said. At this moment, Zhou Aotian had already recovered from his injuries and respectfully stayed beside Yang Wu. The aura of being a half-step into the heavenly ascension realm was completely restrained in front of Yang Wu. Speak, why is the purple firmament hall unwilling to let me be with you? Yang Wu once again asked the answer he had always wanted to know. Previously, Zhou Aotian had also answered him once, but he believed that Zhou Aotian had not finished speaking. He wanted to know more clearly. Master, it's because that girl Yu not only has an innate battle constitution, but also might be the reincarnation of a god. Our Purple Firmament Hall's patriarch once inspected her divine court, and it contained an extremely terrifying aura. The patriarch concluded that she was a fairy who had descended to the mortal world and would be a key figure for our Purple Firmament Hall to leave this world. Moreover, there was a divine decree in the divine realm that Yu had caught the eye of a god from that world. When she reaches the Jade Moon realm, she will bring her to the divine realm and give our Purple Firmament Hall a great reward, Zhou Aotian said truthfully. What bullsh *t god. Damn it. Yang Wu said angrily. He had already bowed to the heavens and earth with Yu. They were husband and wife recognized by the heavens and earth. No one could separate them. After a long while, Yang Wu suppressed his anger and asked, how do you contact the gods? Our hall enshrines the statue of the god of thunder and mother of lightning. The gods communicate with us through the enshrined statue. However, the gods will only descend once every 5 or 10 years. The statue of the gods is nothing. It won't be long before I step into the Purple Firmament Hall and destroy the statue. When was the last time the gods descended? 3 years ago. After Yang Wu finished asking the questions he wanted to know, he calmed down a lot. The gods had descended 3 years ago, so it was possible that they would descend again in 2 years. Within 2 years, he had to go to the Purple Firmament Hall and take Yu away. In addition, he was also afraid of the mysterious power in Yu's divine court. If she was really a reincarnated body, her memory must not have awakened. If she had awakened, she would not have bowed to the heavens and earth with him. Once her memory was restored, would she still be willing to be with him? 2 years. I have to step into the Purple Firmament Hall within 2 years and solve all the hidden dangers in one go. Yang Wu set a goal for himself. With his current combat power, it was not impossible for him to go to the Purple Firmament Hall. However, he would most likely die. There were many omnipotent experts in the Purple Firmament Hall. Moreover, there was a omnipotent level array. His strength was still not enough. He had to make further progress before he could go to the Purple Firmament Hall. I have made continuous breakthroughs in a year. I have obtained many opportunities and my foundation is very solid. However, I still have many skills that I can't use. I still need time to polish and consolidate them. In 2 years, not only do I have to familiarize myself with the great success divine body, but I also have to make further progress. Only then will I have more confidence. Yang Wu took the silver-patterned turtle and Zhou Aotian down the Thunder Mountain. He had to hurry to the Pharmacist Alliance. When they came down, the people of the Thunder Gang surrounded them. There were nearly 1,000 people. All of them were at the heavenly fish realm and above. Many of them were still in the dragon transformation realm. There were even saints leading the group. Their aura was quite extraordinary. "Is he the demonic saint that killed my brother, Che Mingfeng?" The leading high-level saint shouted as he pointed at the silver-patterned turtle with a ghost axe. "Yes, gang leader," someone from the Thunder Gang replied. "Chop them up with a flurry of blades." The high-level saint ordered loudly. "Master, I will go and destroy them," the silver-patterned turtle volunteered. Before Yang Wu went up the Thunder Mountain, he left the silver-patterned turtle to deal with Che Mingfeng. In the end, it devoured Che Mingfeng's flesh and blood. Only then did it enter the Thunder Mountain to wait for Yang Wu's return. Now, the Thunder Gang leader had brought a group of subordinates to take revenge. "You are no match for them. I don't have time to waste here. Out Yen, go and take them down. Leave the leader alive and kill the rest," Yang Wu said with a cold expression. Just as Zhou Outyen was about to attack, Yang Wu changed his mind and said, "Forget it. Leave them alive. Just bring the leader here. It's not a bad idea to leave them here to replenish my family's foundation." "Yes, master," Zhou Outyen shouted. He took a step forward and arrived in front of the high-level saint. He picked him up like a little chick. The other members of the Thunder Gang were scared silly. Their gang leader was so powerful, but he was captured alive without being able to resist. "Kneel." Zhou Outyen's voice was majestic, and it was filled with a supreme aura. The people around him were so frightened that they instantly knelt down, including the high-level saint he brought. His legs went soft, and he knelt in front of Yang Wu. Please forgive me." The high-level saint begged for mercy with tears streaming down his face. All these years, he had been acting like a tyrant under Thunder Mountain, and this was the first time he had met such a terrifying person. Even the power behind him couldn't compare to this person, right? He felt that he must not have looked at the almanac when he went out today. Otherwise, why would he be so unlucky? Yang Wu did not waste any more words with the other party, and once again used the puppet control technique to control this person. This person's name was Zhan Ziliang, and he was a holy elder from a first-rate force, the Thunder Heaven sect, who was not far from here. It could be said that the Thunder Gang was supported by the Thunder Heaven sect. If not for the Thunder Heaven sect, it would have been difficult for the Thunder Gang to be so arrogant in front of the Thunder Mountain. The Thunder Heaven sect is actually such a shameless force. No wonder they rose to prominence in less than 10,000 years. Yang Wu muttered to himself. He hesitated for a moment, then revealed a smile and said, "Now that my strength has increased greatly, I am lacking a place to train, so I will choose the Thunder Heaven sect. I hope that they will not disappoint me." Towards this kind of power that relied on plundering, Yang Wu did not have a good impression of it. He might as well try to challenge a first-rate power and see if he could uproot it with his current fighting strength. Yang Wu did as he said. This was the first time he had done something like attacking a sect, and he was extremely excited. It could be considered as using the Thunder Heaven sect to temper himself, and preparing for the Purple Cloud Palace in 2 years. The Purple Cloud Palace was many times stronger than the Thunder Heaven sect. If he couldn't even take care of the Thunder Heaven sect, then what right did he have to go to the Purple Cloud Palace? Yang Wu brought Zhan Ziliang and his group of gang members and rushed towards the Thunder Heaven sect. From Zhan Ziliang's words, Yang Wu found out that the Thunder Heaven sect had a half-step heavenly ascension ranker, close to 100 saints, and 50,000 disciples. Chapter 12:29. The Thunder Heaven School was located in the southeast direction of the Thunder Mountain. It was a first-rate force that had risen to power less than 10,000 years ago. The forces here were built around the mountains formed a formation, the clouds and mist lingered, the jade palaces, the treasured martial field. It was an extremely good place to cultivate, There were even birds flying in the air from time to time. There were also the cries of spirit demons in the mountains, and from the belly of the mountain, there was a river that slowly passed through, forming a treasured land of mountains and rivers. The Thunder Heaven School's sect master was born in a poor family, and being able to establish a first-rate force with a weak body was also a story that spread far and wide. But now, the Thunder Heaven Gate had purple chi that rose to a height of 3,000 feet, and seemed to have the momentum to continue charging upwards. This 3,000 feet of purple chi was condensed after 10,000 years of accumulation, and was extremely precious. Who would have thought that the purple chi would suddenly dissipate today, and become dim and dull? On the main peak of the Thunder Heaven School, a middle-aged saint rushed out and exclaimed loudly, "Why did the purple aura disappear? Something bad must have happened. I must report this to the ancestor." Without waiting for him to go to the place where the ancestor was in seclusion, an old figure had already rushed out. He formed a seal with both of his hands and condensed a powerful force, firmly stabilizing the purple aura that was about to collapse. "As long as this old man is here, my Thunder Heaven School's destiny will not be severed. Pass down my order to seal the mountain gate for 100 years. The old man said faintly. "Ancestor, what happened?" the middle-aged saint asked nervously. "This old man has been in closed-door cultivation for many years and has not been able to break through the Jade Moon realm, and you people have not been able to take over this old man's position, so the purple aura has subsided. As long as I break through the life and death barrier and step into the Jade Moon realm, the purple aura will definitely recover, or even surpass it by a level." At the same time, he was filled with confidence in breaking through the Jade Moon Mirror realm. He then said, "Quickly seal the mountain. Perhaps in less than 100 years, I will be able to successfully break through." "Yes, ancestor," the middle-aged saint replied respectfully. Immediately after, the various parts of the Thunder Heaven School started to move, preparing to seal the mountain. At this time, a young man sat cross-legged on a silver-patterned turtle, leading a group of people riding spirit demons to appear in front of the Thunder Heaven School. "Zilliang, go and call for a fight," the youth said to the man riding on a thunder tiger. "Yes, master." The man replied obediently. Then, he arrived in front of the Thunder Heaven School, and thrusted the halberd in his hand towards the door made of holy stone. A beam of holy light flashed and landed heavily on the door. Bang! A shocking explosion rang out and the nearby mountains shook. However, the towering holy gate wasn't damaged at all, and there was even a powerful rebounding force that rushed towards Zhang Ziliang. Zhang Ziliang's reaction was also extremely fast. He once again waved his halberd, blocking the rebounding force. However, he and Lei Hu were severely shaken and were forced to retreat 1,000 feet. "The mountain gate's restriction," Yang Wu murmured. "Who dares to cause trouble in my Thunder Heaven School?" An alarmed voice sounded from within the Thunder Heaven School. In the blink of an eye, dozens of figures quickly appeared in front of the Thunder Heaven School. When they saw Yang Wu's group, one of them looked at Zhang Ziliang and sent a sound transmission. "Elder Zhang, what is the meaning of this?" Zhang Ziliang was no longer the Zhang Ziliang of the past. After he sent a voice transmission, Zhang Ziliang said in a clear voice, "My master is here to collect the mountain. Quickly ask old ancestor to come out and greet my master." Zhang Ziliang's words ignited the Thunder Heaven School's disciples. "Saint Elder Zhang, are you crazy? How dare you rebel? Just based on this little bit of people, you want to take the mountain? Disciples of the Thunder Heaven School, quickly come and help. There's an enemy attack. Since the establishment of my Thunder Heaven School, what kind of storms and waves have we not seen before? How dare you provoke our sect? You are simply courting death." The disciples of the Thunder Heaven School were all arrogant and unruly people. They had all been plunderers in front of the Thunder Mountain and contributed to the sect. They all had hearts that were not afraid of death, otherwise, they would not have dared to do such a heinous thing. When Zhan Ziliang was angered, the disciples of the Thunder Heaven School alerted them, and a large number of disciples of the Thunder Heaven School rushed over. Yang Wu did not have the patience to wait any longer, and said to Zhan Ziliang, "Ziliang, lead the way." "Yes, master," Zhan Ziliang replied. He rode on the Thunder Tiger, and slashed forward with the halberd in his hand. A 30,000-meter-long lightning bolt descended, and the disciples of the Thunder Heaven School in front of him were instantly killed. These disciples of the Thunder Heaven School were not strong. Without the Saint of the Star Pattern Realm, how could they withstand Zhan Ziliang's attack? A bloody path was paved, and Yang Wu slowly walked towards the Thunder Heaven School. When he arrived in front of the Thunder Heaven School, he raised his head and looked at the 3 big words Thunder Heaven School on the door beam. He raised his hand and lightly patted it. This palm that did not seem to have profound chi lingering around it directly smashed the door beam into pieces. From today onwards, the Thunder Heaven School will be removed. The saints of the Thunder Heaven School finally sensed the situation, and dozens of saints rushed over from different mountains. "Which madman dares to offend my sect? No matter who it is, blood must be spilled within 5 steps today. Zhan Ziliang, you actually dare to invade the sect? Who gave you the guts?" Many saints arrived in an instant, and when they saw Zhan Ziliang who was walking at the front, they all released a strong killing intent. "My master said that if you hand over all your spirit treasures and disperse all your disciples, you will not commit any evil deeds in the future. I can spare your lives." Zhan Ziliang replied. "This Zhan Ziliang is crazy, I'll kill him first." A high-level saint whose strength was not inferior to Zhan Ziliang's shouted as he raised his holy sword and charged towards Zhan Ziliang. Thunder Heaven School's sect leader, Nanshinshu, said in a deep voice, "Elder Fan, go and help Elder Wu." "Yes, sect leader." A long-bearded saint stood up and replied. Nanshinshu then ordered, "Captain Li, bring your men and kill those people behind you. Don't leave a single one alive." "Yes, sect leader." Another saint with 2 blades on his back stood up and replied, "Protector Go, take care of them. Those who offend my Thunder Heaven School, no matter where they come from, must all die." Nanshinshu said with an extremely cold expression. His heart was not as calm as he appeared on the surface. In the morning, the purple energy of the sect had almost collapsed, and now that there were traitors invading, this matter would definitely not be so easy to resolve. "These people are not worth my time. Outyen, intimidate them." Yang Wu looked at the people in front of him and completely lost interest, and instructed Zhou Outyen who was beside him. "Yes, master." Zhou Outyen bowed his body and instantly soared into the sky, releasing his majestic strength of half a step into the heavenly ascension realm, his mouth containing the sacred art as he shouted. A terrifying sound wave shook the surroundings, shattering the ears of the many saints of the Thunder Heaven School, causing them to fall down from the sky in pain. Nanshinshu revealed a look of shock. "Half-step heavenly ascension ranker. Which fellow Taoist is bullying my Thunder Heaven School?" An old figure rushed out from the Thunder Heaven School's important grounds and shouted. This person's thunder energy was astonishing, like an eagle looking down. He stared at Zhou Outyen with a strong sense of anger. He was the Thunder Heaven School's patriarch. "So what if I did?" Zhou Outyen raised his head and puffed out his chest, looking straight at the Thunder Heaven School's patriarch as he replied. "You are Brother Ao Tian?" When the Thunder Heaven School's patriarch saw Zhou Outyen's appearance clearly, he was shocked, and then he questioned. "A while ago, you and I were still sitting and discussing the Tao. Why are you attacking my sect today? This old man has not offended you or the Purple Cloud Palace." When Zhou Outyen was rushing to the Thunder Mountain, he had passed by the Thunder Heaven School and greeted the Thunder Heaven School's patriarch. He had also taken away some spirit treasures from the Thunder Heaven School's patriarch. The Thunder Heaven School's patriarch was not afraid of Zhou Outyen, he was only afraid of the Purple Cloud Palace, and the two of them had known each other for a long time. Who would have thought that in just a few months, Zhou Outyan would actually bring people to attack his sect? You didn't offend him, nor did you offend the Purple Cloud Palace. It's just that I don't like you. Yang Wu stood in the air, and replied while looking at the Thunder Heaven School's patriarch. And who are you? The Thunder Heaven School's patriarch looked at Yang Wu and questioned. The rolling thunder sound rushed towards Yang Wu, wanting to give Yang Wu a show of strength. When you defeat me, you will have the qualifications to know who I am. Yang Wu ignored the sound of thunder and walked towards the Thunder Heaven School's ancestor. He raised a finger, and strands of lightning energy coiled around the tip of his finger, forming a lightning bead. It expanded infinitely, containing an extremely terrifying amount of thunder force, and pointed towards the Thunder Heaven School's ancestor. The Thunder Heaven School's patriarch's pupils constricted. He stared at the power of the finger and shouted loudly, "No matter who you are, if you provoke this old man, I will teach you an unforgettable lesson." Since Zhou Outyan had become this young man's follower, he guessed that the other party was most likely a monster from the Purple Cloud Palace. He did not dare to kill him immediately, otherwise there would be no place for him in the transcendent realm. The Thunder Heaven School's patriarch punched out, lightning flashed. The power of his fist was shocking, as expected of a half-step heaven-piercing rancor. After the fist beam and the finger beam intersected, the power of thunder and lightning exploded, causing the air to tremble incessantly. The finger beam broke through the power of the fist beam and continued to shoot towards the Thunder Heaven School's patriarch. What? The Thunder Heaven School's patriarch opened his eyes wide. He could not believe that Yang Wu's finger beam could break through his fist beam. He once again raised his hand and struck towards the finger beam. Bang! Bang! The Thunder Heaven School's patriarch had to consecutively release 3 punches before he was able to destroy Yang Wu's finger beam. With just this bit of strength, just obediently kneel down and submit, Yang Wu said with a trace of dissatisfaction. He thought that the Thunder Heaven School's patriarch would be able to give him some pressure, but who would have thought that the other party's fighting strength would be about the same as Zhou Outyan's? Who exactly are you? The Thunder Heaven School's patriarch asked again. As I said, before you defeat me, you don't have the qualifications to know who I am. If you are the divine envoy of the Purple Cloud Palace, then I admit defeat in this battle. I just don't know why you are making such a big fuss, but my Thunder Heaven School has never made an enemy of the Purple Cloud Palace. You talk too much nonsense. If you don't show me some real ability to satisfy me, then today will be your death anniversary. The Thunder Heaven School's patriarch took a deep breath. He glanced at Zhou Outyan, then looked at Yang Wu and said faintly, "Looks like you want to fight wholeheartedly. If I defeat you, will you let my Thunder Heaven School go?" "Sure." Yang Wu nodded his head and replied, "All right, then this old man will have to offend you." The Thunder Heaven School's patriarch replied and opened his mouth to absorb the profound chi of heaven and earth. The power of the stars in the sky gathered crazily, and his battle chi rose steadily, quickly reaching the peak of half a step into the Heaven Ascension realm. Just a little bit more and he would be able to smoothly step into the Jade Moon realm. This was the true strength of the Thunder Heaven School's patriarch. Just now, he had only used 50% of his strength. This was also why he had the confidence to break through to the Jade Moon realm.